Mr. Madrano is having unsupervised contact with the children. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you understand that that's currently a violation of the court order?
Yeah, I guess it would be. We did it because his drug screens have been negative.
Mr. Abbott, are you covering for Mr. Saint?
No, Judge, I substituted in for Mr.
Oh,
Saint.
you did. Okay, all right.
It just never has gotten updated. So,
Okay, all right.
how have you been?
I've been good. You?
Good.
Good.
I'm ready for winter, though.
Yeah, me too.
Hey Tracy, can we bring in Misty Fronterhouse and she might have a supervisor with her?
You said Misty with who?
Misty Fronterhouse. I can't remember who her supervisor is.
Got her. I see her right here.
Okay, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Is there anybody else in that waiting room?
There's a Michael Wrinkle, Tara Turner, Stephanie Cole. One says Samsung, so it's a call-in.
Okay, if we can bring in Tara Turner and let her know that she's on the docket for 3:45. She's on the Rawson case. She is the attorney appointed to represent mom. My guess is that at least one of those other witnesses might be hers.
Okay. I just let her in. Do you want to let her know?
Sure, I can let her know. Miss Turner, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I am
Good morning.
doing well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. The judge sent out the docket last week, and on the PDF, it has the times of the hearings. I'm only explaining because I think this is your first time appearing for it.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And this one is at 3:45 p.m.
Okay,
So I don't know if you have any witnesses in the waiting room or if
I
mom's in the
do.
waiting room too.
Sarah Russell and then the family. I will just text them all.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. See you
So,
later.
thank you. 3:45, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
See you later.
Teresa, she
I'm
said
here.
she's going to contact Sarah Russell, but there's also a Peggy Carnes and a Gracie Bowles.
Gracie Bowles is my worker on one of the cases. I'm not sure. I would leave her in there and
Okay.
I'll text her. I'll message her by email and just see
Okay.
if she needs to be logged on this early.
What about Peggy Carnes?
I assume that is Miss Turner's other witness.
Oh, okay. She said she would contact them then.
Well, I can let them know. Sarah Russell is there somebody else that's for 3:45?
I think Stephanie Cole and Tracy was saying a Miss
Peggy
Barnes.
Peggy Carnes.
Let's just get them in and tell them.
Teresa, this
Yes,
is
ma'am.
Misty. I'm going to jump off and jump back in and see if my camera will work. It's just spinning. I don't know what the deal is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Miss Cole and Miss Carnes, this is Judge Graham. If y'all could unmute.
Hello?
Miss Carnes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Listen,
Okay.
Your hearing is not the hearing that you're here for is not till 3:45 this afternoon. So I didn't want you to wait around in the waiting room all day long.
Oh, okay. 3:45.
And Your Honor, I think Stephanie Cole might be. Stephanie, what case were you subpoenaed for?
The seller's case?
Okay, that's this afternoon as well.
Okay, the subpoena said 9, so.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
make
not
note.
sure I'm not sure how everybody thought these were at 9:00. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Whoever's here for the seller's case, that's at 2:15 this afternoon.
2:15. Thank you.
I'm going to try one more time to mess because I can't see half of y'all. I can't see half of my whole screen is covered up with who's in the waiting room and who's joined us. So I'm going to mess with it for a minute.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Tracy, you may have to manage the waiting room today because I can't. It's covering up half of my screen.
Okay, I'll get it taken care of.
Okay, all right.
Teresa,
Okay.
we have a Deidre Cawthorne in there and a Misty Fronterhouse.
I need Misty back in, and Deidre is for the next case starting at 9:30 a.m. So I think she's okay.
Perfect. Okay.
All right. I will call Randall County case cause number 88188. This is a compliance hearing following an order to participate involving the Madrano children. Ms. Gutierrez is covering for Ms. Wildman for the department. Ms. Naranjo is with us representing the children. Mr. Abbott is with us representing the father, Mr. Madrano, who is with us, and Ms. Kincaid is with us representing the mother, Miss Madrano, who is with us. All right, that's all the parties. Ms. Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department calls Misty Fronterhouse as its witness.
Okay, ma'am, if you'd raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Misty, who do you work for?
Department of Family Protective Services?
And are you the caseworker assigned to the Madrano family?
Yes.
And did you file a compliance report on August 10th of 2026?
Yes.
Your Honor, we ask for judicial notice of that court report.
All right, so noted, and I read it.
Thank you. Misty, since the filing of that court report, what are the updates on the child, Emma?
Emmeline is doing good. She is seeing Michelle Signs for counseling. She was going to start school this morning. I don't know if she got the chance to do that or not, start pre-K, but she's doing really well.
Great. And there was a note in your court report that she did not qualify for ECI. Is that correct?
Amberly didn't. Yes.
Oh, okay. And
Yes.
so is Emberly, which one is in play therapy?
Emmeline, the
Emma.
older one.
Okay, thank you. Fix that in my note. All right. And as far as Emberly, how is she doing?
She's doing really well.
Can we
Very
get some
intelligent kiddos. They're super cute.
Okay. And right now, are they with mom?
Yes.
And how is Abigail progressing on her services?
She's doing good. She has a couple Love and Logics left, I think maybe 2, and then she'll be done with her services.
And now I noticed there were some screens that were filed and then the results adjusted by a medical review officer. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So at this time, all her drug screens are negative. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you. And as far as Nicholas, how is he progressing on his services?
He's doing well. We still need his BIP, his TPC evaluation, and then his Stonebridge suggested AA meetings and individual counseling, and he's agreed to both, so we're getting those set up.
And can you repeat those again? They recommended what again?
AA meetings and individual counseling.
All right. And is he agreeable to doing those as well?
Yes.
Okay. And let's see. Now, one of the prior orders made his visitation supervised until he provided a negative hair follicle and a negative UA to the department. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Has he been able to meet those conditions yet?
We haven't done another hair follicle. We usually only do those every 89 days because they go back that far. So you're not going to get a progression, even if it's negative, but his other tests have all been negative.
Are we asking the court today to order any drug screens on Mr. Madrano?
No. He just completed one from last week and they were both alcohol and drug were both negative.
And when will it be time for his new hair follicle drug screen?
Oh, it would be next month if we waited the full 89 days.
Okay. All right. Now, it sounds like Mr. Madrano has some bond conditions. Is that correct?
Yes, I honestly was unaware of his bond conditions, but now I realize there is a restriction for how close he can be to Abigail.
Okay. And that is important because you were doing what with family therapy and co-parenting and things like that?
Yes, we were having them co-parent due to a change in situation in the last couple of days, and we were going to have them watch the children while the other was at work.
Okay. And being mindful of this bond restriction and that it could result in Mr. Madrano being arrested again, what is the plan now in regards to the children exchanging for visitation and babysitting and things like that?
I will meet with Abigail today and we will get it figured out. He'll have to work tonight till midnight. So we'll have today to figure it out to make sure that they are not within violation of that bond.
Okay. And that at this point, as long as those bond restrictions are in place, what services are we unable to facilitate for them?
Just couples therapy, which we were going to have them do. Otherwise, everything will be the same.
Okay. And had couples therapy been ordered before?
No, we were going to do it just because of this current situation. We had lifted the supervised visits, but we will figure out how to get visitation done to where they don't come in contact with each other.
Now, you mentioned you lifted supervised visits. Is that correct?
Yes, because the drug screens have been negative.
Okay. But he hasn't, can you tell me what the reasoning was if he hasn't provided a negative hair follicle yet to lift that supervision requirement?
Because we had a situation where Miss Madrano was removed from the residence or asked to leave the residence where she was staying She has no other family or friends in Amarillo. And so, in the emergency situation, she moved back into the home she shared with Nick Madrano. There is a family agreement signed that he would not stay in the home. He will stay I'm guessing at his mother's home, but it is on the property. So I'm not sure if that would put them in violation. So we're gonna talk about it after this. But we were just, because their work schedules are opposite, we were just gonna have him watch the kids while she was at work and her watch the kids while he was at work, but that's not gonna work with the bond restriction either.
Okay. Now, you said Ms. Madrano was almost done with her services. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are there any recommended services we need to ask the court to consider ordering?
I would like for them to both do co-parenting, which we were going to do together. They do have classes where you can do it separately, but we will probably hold off because there's obviously no way for them to do that.
Okay, so I'm confused.
I'm
Do you
sorry.
want me
So
to-
no,
you want-
the answer would be no. We can't at this time.
In regards to Mr. Madrano, you had mentioned earlier that there was a recommendation for AA. Is that correct? And individual therapy?
Yes.
Are we asking the court to order those two services for Mr. Madrano today?
Yes.
Are
I'm
there
sorry,
any
what were those two services?
to attend Alcoholics Anonymous meetings and participate in individual therapy?
Okay, thank you.
And Misty, regarding the kids, are there any services we need to ask the court to consider ordering for the girls?
I don't believe so. We're going to help her get daycare and HUD. I don't believe that there's anything that we need for them.
Do you believe that there is a need for this order to participate to continue?
Yes.
And let's see, if our dismissal date is November 16th, approximately when are you asking for another hearing to be scheduled for?
Let's
By
do what
that, I'm asking I'm sorry, Amy. By that, I'm asking what month are you wanting that hearing to be in?
I would like to do it again next month. I think things will definitely have moved along by next month, if we can do it that soon. If not, 2 months is fine.
Thank you, Misty. I pass the witness.
All right. Misty, is the problem with co-parenting because of the bond restrictions?
Yes, sir.
Does anybody do co-parenting virtually where they would not have to be within whatever feet of each other?
Bennett Court Solutions does it individually, but it's not live. There's not a live one that does it individually that I know of, but I will definitely look. I just don't know.
I'm confused. We wouldn't want it to be live. We'd want it to be virtual so that they don't violate the bond restriction.
Correct. When I say live, I mean the Bennett Court is more like a interactive PowerPoint. It's not an actual virtual one-on-one is what I meant by live. Like, I don't know of anybody who would do it virtual, but let me check. I will ask around.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may clarify for the court, I believe the bond conditions don't allow for any direct or indirect contact with Ms. Madrano, so I don't think that would even be feasible.
Okay. All right. Okay. Never mind.
Thank you,
Okay.
Kendra.
Ms. Kincaid, questions?
Yes, Ms. Madrano, she was ordered to do an OSAR, but there's kind of been a backup with TPC. Is that fair to say?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Yes, and I've told them both that they could go to daily recovery on any Thursday and do it. So that service is still out there. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Okay, but it's not for a lack of Ms. Madrano trying to get involved. It's just TPC is backed up right now.
That is correct.
Okay, and if I told you that maybe she has one parenting class left, would you have any reason to disagree with me on that?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, and other than that, has Ms. Madrano been compliant with everything that you guys have asked of her?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Abbott.
Thank you, Judge. Nick's been very compliant and has done very well, hasn't he?
Yes.
But we need to try to get this bond condition changed.
Yes.
Okay.
It would be
Pass the
helpful.
I'm sorry, y'all were both talking.
I passed the witness.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Naranjo?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Frennerhouse, have you filed any of the drug screens for Ms. Madrano or Mr. Madrano?
I did email his this morning because I didn't have them yet when I filed the compliance report, and I don't have her corrected one back.
And would it seem correct to you if I told you today that you have not filed any of the drug screens since June 11th on Mr. Madrano and May 10th on Ms. Madrano?
Yes, those were the ones from since then. Should have been emailed this morning. They were not sent with the compliance report. That was my bad. I was hoping to get hers corrected and then they didn't. And this morning I realized I hadn't sent them. So I did email them to everybody.
And you understand how important it is to get these drug screens e-filed, especially when court orders are impacted by these drug screens.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you please get those e-filed today?
Yes, I absolutely can.
Is Ms. Madrano making any efforts to find any other housing given this complicated situation with the bond conditions?
Yes. Yes,
And
we
what
are
efforts are
working
being made?
on, yes. And Kendra, I don't know if I will have her corrected one back today. Do you want me to go ahead and send the uncorrected one? Because it will show positive due to her medication.
I can't answer that question for you.
Okay.
What efforts is Ms. Madrano making to find different housing?
We've applied for emergency HUD because she does not have the financial means right now to get into a place.
Are you making any other efforts?
That is all we have talked about right now. This occurred. I talked to her on Friday evening. She is talking to her family. We're going to meet up again to try to make plans and see what we can do to get her own place.
Is currently right now, Mr. Madrano is having unsupervised contact with the children. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you understand that that's currently a violation of the court order?
Yeah, I guess it would be. We did it because his drug screens have been negative, and just due to the situation, we approved it.
Now, the hair follicle that he did do was back on June 24th. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that was positive for marijuana. Is that right?
It was positive for marijuana. Yes.
Do you know what the levels were?
0.2.
So it was pretty low.
It was very low.
I'll pass the witness.
Okay. All right. Anybody have further questions for Ms. Fronterhouse?
I do.
Okay.
Misty, you feel comfortable with Nick having unsupervised visitation with the children?
I do.
Are you asking the court to modify the order at this time so that he can have unsupervised visitation with the children?
Yes, normally we don't go directly to unsupervised. We like family or friend to watch, but we don't have any issues with him and the children.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
Okay. Anyone else?
No, Your
All right.
Honor.
Ms. Gutierrez, anything further from the department?
Nothing further from us, Your Honor. We asked for a hearing to be set in September and the department rests.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Ms. Kincaid, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Abbott?
No, Judge.
Ms. Naranjo, recommendations?
Yeah, and I do recommend it's in the best interest of the children that these services continue. I am concerned about the current situation amongst parents, but I think kind of our hand is a little forced on that. So I'm not opposed to dad having unsupervised visitation, and I would just ask the department to continue filing those drug screens.
Okay. All right. All right. Then I will just order the parents continue working the services as previously ordered. It sounds like they've all both got pretty close to getting finished. I will, as requested, I'll order that Mr. Madrano attend AA meetings and attend individual therapy. I will go ahead and order that Mr. Madrano's current unsupervised visitation can continue to be unsupervised. All right, I will set a compliance hearing for September 14th, 2026. It will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing. Parties can go on the court's online docket or ask their lawyers a day or two before September 14th what time of day that hearing will take place. So we won't have the problem we've had like today, some people showing up at 9 o'clock for a hearing that doesn't take place till late this afternoon. So, okay, we'll be in recess on this case. I'll be back here very, very shortly to call another Randall County case. That is a permanency hearing involving the Cawthron child. So we'll be in recess. Everybody have a good week.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Judge. I'm not back till noon, so I'll log out and log back in.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Deidre. Hey, it looks like you're signed in twice. I don't know why. Maybe it's just on my screen. It shows that. I'm not sure if it's an issue or not, and I can't hear you.
I see her twice too, Vince.
Okay. And she's gone. She's gone on one of them.
Teresa.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, never mind. He let her in. There's a Jennifer Campos in the waiting room. Does she come in now or?
Yes, please.
Good to see you all this Monday morning.
Good to see you too, Vince.
Thank you.
It's been eventful already.
Let me tell you, I was supposed to start a 2-week trial tomorrow, and I learned last Wednesday that it's off. And so got time on my hands. I mean, I've got a lot of work to do to catch up with other cases, but kind of weird because I was gearing up to be in trial for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden it's not going until October.
Maybe take a couple of days off.
I just had a weekend. I recharged a little bit. Aaron, are we done with Kansas? Did everything get oh, come on. Kind of. Okay, I got you. Everything's going the right direction, correct?
They're placed, but we have to have a meeting with state office about it because Kansas still hasn't done their stuff in the system. But
I got you.
Yeah.
Red tape.
Yes.
Okay, I will call Randall County case cause number 86535. This is a permanency hearing involving the Cothran child. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Ms. Naranjo is with us representing the child. Mr. Nowak is with us representing the mother, Ms. Cothran, who is with us. That's all the party. Excuse me just a second. Let's see. I have Michael Wrinkle and Eric Campbell in the waiting room. Are they needed? No? Okay.
I think Campbell's the next case, Judge.
Okay. All right.
Yes. And
All right,
then,
then.
go ahead.
Then we are ready to proceed. Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. We ask for judicial notice of the court report filed on August 3rd of 2026.
All right, so noted, and I read that report.
And the department calls Jennifer Campos as its witness.
Okay, Ms. Campos, if you'd raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jennifer, who do you work for?
St. Francis Ministries.
Okay, and you are a case supervisor, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Is there a new worker assigned to this case yet?
Yes, there is.
Who is that going to be?
Christina Barrera Miller.
And for the parties involved, who will be her supervisor?
Christy Ashley.
Okay, and you are covering today's hearing for us, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we get some updates on Anna since the filing of the court report?
Since the filing of the court report, Anna's been doing good. I do know that she was supposed to have an MRI done on her knee because on her knees, I'm sorry, because they pop out of place. And so they are waiting to do the MRI. It may have already happened. I just am not aware of it yet. I know that they were waiting on insurance things to or insurance to approve for the MRI and to move forward with things like that. So it may take a little while. Anna is doing a little better in placement now that they finally kind of got her on the right meds and kind of gotten her a little calmed down. That I would use that word. She has been doing better. She is doing therapy. She is seeing Deidre. I don't know how often Deidre goes down there. And I'm not 100% sure on how much they conversate. But I did talk to Deidre, and she said that Anna is doing better, but not ready to come home yet. So I was thankful that I got to speak with her. But other than that, Anna's doing fairly well.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Campos. In regards to the child's psychotropic medication, are those being reviewed as they're statutorily required to be?
Yes, ma'am.
Has Anna expressed any opinion on them?
No, she has not.
Has she been given an opportunity to?
Yes.
And have there been any recent psychiatric hospitalization?
Not recently, no, ma'am.
Is she starting school soon?
Yes, she is starting school. I believe actually they've already started school. I believe they started Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
And will hers be in person or is hers online?
It is in person.
Thank you, Ms. Campos. And she's currently placed in a residential treatment center, is that correct?
Yes.
And is that the least restrictive environment given the child's needs?
Yes.
Now you mentioned that she's not ready to go home. Is that from Anna's position, or can you tell me more about that?
That is from Anna's position. She needs some more therapy and to, make sure she's on the right track with her behaviors and things of that nature. So placement has been working really hard with her on getting her behaviors under control and making sure she stays on top of her medication and getting her the right meds she needs.
Now, I understand this case was more focused on providing services to Anna, but has mom completed her services?
Yes, she has. And she continues family therapy with Leigh Ann LaFever. Individual therapy. I apologize.
Are there any recommended services we're asking to be ordered today?
No.
In regards to visitation, what type of visitation is Ms. Cothran allowed to have with Anna?
I believe she's allowed to have unsupervised contact, phone calls, and in-person visits with Anna.
Okay, thank you. And can you please in detail talk about our reasonable efforts to reunify the family?
We have provided a family plan of service for Deidre. We continue to support her and provide any resources that we need to help with Anna's behaviors whenever she is whenever she does go home, not allowed, whenever she does go home. That way we can support her and so that way we can support her and it be a successful reunification this time.
Are we also providing services to Anna?
Yes.
And are those as well part of our reasonable efforts to reunify?
Yes.
Okay. Now, our dismissal date is coming up November 2nd of 2026. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are we asking the court to go ahead and set a final hearing?
Yes.
Right. And would it be contrary to the welfare of the child given her needs to return home today?
Yes.
And could it be a physical danger to her physical health and safety, again, considering her needs?
Yes.
All right, pass the witness.
Mr. Nowak?
Thank you so much, Judge. And Jennifer, it's always good to see you. It seems like the focus in this case has been on Anna. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
If you had to grade Mom on her compliance with her service plan, would you agree with me that Mom has scored an A+?
Yes.
Jennifer, thank you so much. Judge, I'll pass the witness.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Naranjo.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Campos, do you know if Ms. Cawthorn and Anna are having family group therapy?
I don't believe so. I know that whenever I spoke with Deidre, she said that if I'm not mistaken, she could correct me. It would be a little hard doing it virtual. And so we have not got that set up. We would like to have it in person.
Do you think it would be possible to have the therapist be in person with Anna and then have Ms. Cawthorn be on like Zoom or Teams or something?
Yes.
Do you think that might be beneficial for Anna?
Yes, I do believe so.
Do you think that's something that St. Francis can facilitate?
Yes, most definitely.
I'll pass the witness.
All right. Does Anna has her own therapist, I take it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So would that therapist do the family therapy or just be there with Anna and then someone else?
We can definitely reach out to the therapist and ask her if she would be willing to do the family therapy.
Okay. And Ms. LaFever could do it, but that wouldn't help Anna. Anna would not have her therapist there, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Anybody else have further questions for Ms. Campos? No? Okay. Ms. Gutierrez, do you have any other witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. I briefly called Deidre Cawthorn.
Okay. Ms. Cawthorn, if you'd unmute, if you're on a phone, hit *6. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yes. Now.
All right, ma'am, if you'd raise your right hand.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
All right, Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Cawthorn, can you let us know what type or how often you're having phone contact with Anna?
Yes. I talk to her quite often, every week, usually more than one time a week. Sometimes it's, they're out, but I can have call usually on Tuesday, Thursdays, and through the weekend. We have started up a video calls again and now they're on Thursday at 6:00. So I get to see her online every week now. So we were able to get that started up again.
In addition to that, are you able, I apologize, I cut you off. Please finish. Please finish.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
And are you having any in-person visitation with her?
We were able to go see her in the first part of July. We were able to go then. It was kind of because she went from one facility to another. Well, and I retired at the end of May, so I wasn't, with work and things. And then I had a fall, and so I wasn't able to go till July. I was going to go in June, but that I had to be delayed till July. But right now I'm waiting so when they schedule her surgery to go back and see her again.
Okay, I pass the witness.
All right.
One thing I wanted to say about the counseling, and she had talked to me about it. She does counseling online, and I think it would benefit her. She doesn't seem to care for her counselor, and it's hard to know with Anna if she's the problem or if but she doesn't seem to like the counselor she has right now, and I think it would benefit her. But I know with their schedule with school and things, it would be hard to maybe have an in-person, but I do like the idea when we have a group therapy, if someone could be there with her and me online, if that's possible. I know that it may not be, it may be we all have to be online, but I would like to do the family counseling. I think that will be very beneficial before she comes home to do that again, or to do it at all, because we have never got that set up yet.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Nowak.
Judge, my client is a better advocate than I could ever be for this child. I don't have any further questions for her. Thank you so much, Deidre, and thank you, Judge.
Mr. Onho.
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Cothran, when you were doing your counseling, were you seeing Ms. LaFever?
No, I see a different counselor. Paula Abbott is who my counselor is.
And whoever can answer this, who is Anna's counselor? What's that person's name? Anybody?
Priscilla Davis.
But it's also virtual, is what Ms. Cothran's telling us, correct, Mr. Cothran?
Yes.
All right. I don't know. I make notes when I read these reports. I don't keep the reports, but I have notes about Leigh Ann LaFever having been involved in this case. Am I wrong about that?
No, she was, whenever Anna came here, she did go see her. And I go to a luncheon with her, that she has.
Yeah.
And that's how I built a relationship with her.
Have we explored whether or not Ms. LaFever would be able to do the family counseling, even though it might have to be virtual? It sounds like Anna's already got a virtual counselor. So, Ms. Campos, has anybody approached Ms. LaFever to see if she would do the family counseling?
We have not, but we will. We can. Yeah.
Ms. Cothran, I recall you were very happy with Leigh Ann, correct?
Oh yes, she is.
Right.
Yes, she's amazing.
Yeah,
she is amazing.
Let's approach that first. Let's see if Ms. LaFever would be willing to do it, because I would be in favor of that. She's the best I know of. So,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Gutierrez, anything further from the department?
Yes, Your Honor. I got an update from Ms. Campos. Very brief. I recall Jennifer Campos.
Okay, go ahead.
Jennifer, you had an update regarding the MRI. Is that correct?
I think that was Sasha Smith that sent that in the chat.
Oh, okay. Can you share with the court what it is so it's in the record?
Yes. Give me just 1 second. Let me look.
Sasha, you're well. If you want to chime in, please do.
Okay. Yes, I'm looking in the chart in my system. It looks like the MRI was denied, but I can't see details. It looks like they're already taking away some of my access. But I can find out more information. A court order could help, but that would be up to y'all. But I can have someone reach out to the caseworker.
Okay, so I could order the MRI, and that might help?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll be happy to do that. If y'all don't know, Sasha's going to be leaving us, which is not good for any of us, because she's one in a million.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Gutierrez, anything further from the department?
No, Your Honor, we do request that if the court does order family therapy, that it not be a part of the group therapy, just because there would be other participants there. That might be a HIPAA violation for their information. And I assume that the MRI is needed on both knees. Is that correct, Jennifer? She's nodding yes.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Sorry,
I think
just one.
I think it's one, because the right knee is the one that's given her the problem right now and has been the most of the problem.
Okay, so we need an MRI on her right knee. Is that correct?
I believe it's the right knee. I'm going off what Anna told me, so I'm not, I just know the one that they're going to do surgery on is the ones that need the MRI on.
Okay. Sasha, are you able to see if the request specified which knee that MRI was requested on?
No, I'm not able to see that. I don't think you have to specify which side. I think if it just says for the knee, that would probably be sufficient.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? Any other witnesses?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, then. Ms. Madrano, recommendations.
Yeah, I do believe it's in the child's best interest that the department continue as temporary managing conservator, that her placement continue, and then we try to facilitate family group therapy in any means possible.
Okay, all right. Then I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator, continue Anna's current placement. I will order the family therapy, and we'll, like I said, if we can start out with seeing if Miss LaFever would do it, that would be wonderful. If not, we'll explore some other options, but I agree, we need that family therapy before Anna comes home, so. And I think as far as the MRI, I'm just going to order that, I'm going to order the MRI for Anna's knee or knees as recommended by her physician. So, okay. I will set a final for October 26th, 2026. It will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing, so parties can ask their lawyers. Ms. Cothran, you can ask Mr. Nowak, or anybody can go on the court's online docket a day or two before October 26th to see. Yeah, if you're raising your hand, Ms. Gutierrez.
I heard 6 instead of 26, and I was like, that's not a Monday, but
No,
I misheard.
October 26th. So you can go on the court's online docket, so you're not waiting in the waiting room all day long. Figure out exactly, close to exact what time we'll have that hearing on the 26th. So. Okay, we'll be in recess on this case. I'll be back here shortly to call another Randall County case. That's a permanency review after final order involving the Campbell child. So we'll be in recess. Everybody have a good week.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank y'all. All right, I'll try it again now. I can't get into the breakout room. Okay, we're going to try and get everybody back now. Okay, I think maybe we're all back.
And Your Honor, I did invoke the rule and Miss LaFever is still here.
Okay, Miss LaFever, I'm going to have to put you back in the waiting room. They've invoked the rule until you testify. Okay, Ms. Gutierrez, I think we are finally ready to proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I should have a Lakeisha McDonald in the waiting room. Is she there?
Let me check real quick.
Okay.
Judge, I'll let her in.
Okay, please.
Your Honor, I feel so bad for you.
I don't know what's gone wrong with my computer. I did a Zoom hearing yesterday and it was just fine. Okay, she's with us now. Miss McDonald, can you hear me? This is Judge Graham.
Yes, sir, I can.
As you sit here today, for 2 years of therapy with Gracie, no one ever indicated to you that the goal for this child's permanency was family reunification.
No one told me that family reunification was an option.
Miss McDonald, can you hear me? This is Judge Graham.
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. If you'd raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I swear.
All right, thank you. Miss Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss McDonald, what do you do as a profession?
I am a therapist.
And what licensing do you have?
I have a licensed professional counselor license for the state of Texas.
And what special education and training did it require to get that license?
I had to get a graduate degree in community counseling and guidance. And I also received a B specialization from the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. A year-long externship to get it.
Okay. There was some kind of beeping that was interrupting when you were speaking. Is there, I don't know if that was on your end, Miss McDonald?
I don't think so.
Okay. And you are Gracie's individual therapist, is that correct?
That's correct.
How long have you been working with her for?
A little bit over 2 years now.
Okay. And do you also make therapy notes when you work with her?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Have there been any therapy notes that you just copied from one day to another?
No, I have not. So a lot of my notes will initially start the same because I'm seeing the kids weekly. And then in Graciana's cases, sometimes I may be in the home. I might not be necessarily seeing her at the time, but I also know that I'm always interacting with the youth. So I know for sure it's not going to be anything that's going to be copied from day to day. No session is the same.
Okay. And when Graciana has been psychiatrically hospitalized, are you still able to provide individual therapy to her?
When she's hospitalized, no. Once she's in the hospital, she's there and I don't go and see her. I may see her the day she returns or the day after, I don't know. But I can see her before she leaves or after she returns, and it could be that day.
Okay. Now, in July of 2025, the judge ordered that the child undergo a neuropsychological evaluation be enrolled in applied behavior analysis therapy and pharmacogenetic testing to be conducted. Do you have anything to do with the scheduling of those services?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Thank you. And let's see. Now, at the beginning, when you first received Gracie, did you receive correspondence from Leigh Ann LaFever?
I don't think it was when I first started to see Gracie. I think maybe a little bit after I first started to see her. Miss Leigh Ann, is that the family's?
She has provided family therapy. Do you recall? Does that help you recall?
Yes, I think it was a little bit after I started to see Gracie for a little while. She reached out to me initially about starting family therapy with her again or something like that. I vaguely remember exactly what happened, but yes, she did. But it wasn't when I first started to see Gracie.
And has the facility been able to provide a HIPAA compliant area for Gracie to do her therapy when Miss Leigh Ann LaFever was seeing her virtual?
Well, I haven't been present when the family therapy go on, but I can tell you that they've been able to provide that for me because they have a special area that's set up and it doesn't have like windows. There's only one door there. So it's very off to itself. So I don't see why they wouldn't be able to provide that for her.
Okay. And did you receive any requests from Ms. LaFever regarding helping Gracie write letters or correspondence back and forth with Ms. LaFever or her parents?
I believe that she did reach out to me to try and assist Gracie with like some family reunification things. However, during the course of me treating Gracie and Graciana finding out that I was even in contact with her, she completely shut down communication with me because of that. So after I listened to what she had to say, and what's that?
Judge, I'm going to object to speculation.
Okay. Ms. McDonald, please continue your answer, Ms. McDonald. You were talking about Gracie.
Yes. So after I spoke to Gracie and she told me that I was supposed to be for her, and that she didn't want that. So I said, okay. And that was that.
And what conversations have you had with Gracie, if any, regarding Ms. LaFever?
None other than that. Like after I was able to rebuild rapport with Graciana and trying to like reestablish our therapeutic bond, I let family therapy take care of family therapy and I stuck to individual therapy.
And how long approximately did it take you to rebuild your bond with Gracie following that conversation about Ms. LaFever?
Probably a while. I think initially we had the conversation. Graciana was kind of open to like the family therapy. I don't know exactly what happened in family therapy. I can't speak to that, but I do know like after she had the family therapy is when she didn't like really want to talk to me that much anymore. And it took a while. I can't say exactly how many weeks, but I would say maybe 5 to 6, maybe.
And what, if anything, did Gracie express about Miss LaFever?
She told me that she felt like she couldn't speak. And because one of the things that Graciana and I worked on was definitely her having a voice and, you know, just being able to speak without fear and being honest, because that was something that she felt like she didn't get to do as far as I believe and from what I know of her. But I think after that, we never really talked about her, not the therapist.
Okay. And what conversations, if any, have you had about adoption with Gracie?
Not until like very, very recently. And I would say maybe this summer sometime, Graciana brought up being adopted. And I did ask her like if that was an option, because I didn't know that it was an option. And she said that it is because she wanted to be with a family and that she couldn't go home.
Now, for clarification, who initiated this conversation about adoption?
Graciana. She told me. Nope. I didn't know that it was an option.
Okay. And have you heard anything else from Graciana about adoption since that conversation?
Yes. She informed me that she felt like she wasn't being able to talk to the person who was supposed to be adopting her. She asked me if she had the right to choose her own relationships. And I expressed to her that that was definitely something that she needed to talk to her team about so that she could get clarity on what was expected and what was allowed. And, just to find out for herself what was needed for her. So
Ms. McDonald, what has Gracie said about the relationship with her father?
she loves the relationship with her father. She, to me, she's always expressed that, her dad has been an advocate for her. She felt like he's always been open and listening to her. Like she was always excited when she left to visit. Her dad would come to Houston, and every time he would come, Graciana would come back and she would tell me about how excited she was to be with him, or the next time she would be with him. She's never spoken negatively in any way to me concerning her dad, other than once when she said that she missed him and she wanted him to come back, that she was gonna be mad because he had to work for a long period of time or something. But she's always said she loved him.
And mind you, my guess is that you don't have direct contact with the information of how often he comes. Is that correct?
That's correct. I won't know until she tells me that he's, visited or he's gonna visit or.
And approximately how many times has she said that he's visited?
Oh, quite. I mean, he's visited. I can't say like a definitive amount of times, but I do remember him coming pretty regularly. Like at one point in time, he came like 2 or 3 times in a month. Her father did.
Okay. In regards to her mother, is it fair to say that relationship has a little bit more struggle in it than her relationship with her father?
I can only assume.
I would object to the form of the question, and unless she's asking in an opinion-based manner.
Well, I want to know if Gracie has said anything to her about her mother. That's not hearsay.
I'll withdraw the question and re-ask it, Your Honor.
Okay, all right.
Miss McDonald, what has Gracie said about the relationship with her mother?
She's always told me that they didn't have like a relationship. Like she hasn't. We've actually talked a lot about, from Graciana's perspective, her belief that there was a lot that happened, and that so Graciana and I would always talk about forgiveness and how to, let things go or whatever. Not saying that anything that she said was absolutely true. However, it is truly my belief that she believes the things that she says is true concerning her mom. So with that being said, even now, if she bring her mom up, we will talk about like forgiveness and how to, rebuild that relationship with the people we love and stuff like that. So it's been definitely a struggle.
And Judge, I would renew my objection again with regard to all that testimony as being not admissible child hearsay under 104, given the fact that it doesn't pertain to abuse or neglect.
Overruled.
Now, Ms. McDonald, during your treatment of the child, do you recall any direct statements she's made about her mother?
She directly told me that her mom did not want her to return home. And she's directly told me that she wants to have a relationship with her dad and her Mimi, maybe, or grandma, and that she's really not interested in trying to do anything different with her mom. Those are the direct statements that she's made.
Let's see. And how many, according to or during your therapy with the child, how many times has she talked about mom visiting her there at Elijah House?
She's never told me that mom has visited her. She's never expressed it. I remember, and I don't know if this happened or not, so I'm not sure. I don't remember her talking about it.
Well, we'll move on to the next question then. How has Gracie changed since she was first placed at Elijah House versus what she's like currently?
Graciana has changed a lot. When she first came to Elijah's house, it was very difficult to, help Graciana with a lot of the social connections that she was able to make, and understanding how many of her actions or behaviors will like impact the environment or impact the people around her. Just helping her to understand that the world around her had to include her and other people. And now she's able to do that, even though like it took a lot for us to help her understand that her behaviors and her just her misunderstanding a lot of social cues and also being misunderstood when she interact with others was something that she kind of had to accept. So we continued to like work on that, and somehow along the way, she found ways of liking herself. Like we found good things about her to say. We harnessed in on ways that she was able to become positive about herself and about other people, and that really, really helped.
How would you describe the therapeutic relationship that you have with Gracie?
It's very positive. Like initially, Graciana would be very reserved in her speaking. Like she would only, speak about specific things. But now she will come to therapy and she'll just say whatever she want to say. She definitely likes to hear about like options of things, like and having those presented to her is best that she can. She definitely loves to like find direction on where she needs to go for help. So she's become an advocate for herself and throughout our therapeutic process just by learning that you have options.
And what are your personal or your professional, apologies, what are your professional hopes for Gracie as a young lady?
My professional hope for Gracie is that she learn how to utilize all of her strengths to benefit her life and to accept, that the type of manifestations that come from her autism is not typical. Like her spectrum of autism seems to be geared towards like misunderstanding those social cues and not being able to interpret the environment the way that we would typically see it. So she's learning even now to question like what am I actually seeing and what am I actually experiencing, and she's been able to remain in school and not she's only been hospitalized once. So I feel like a lot of the things that are happening are positive, and it's my hope that she just continue to grow and be whatever she want to be in life.
I pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Grammer?
Thank you. You said she was only hospitalized once. When was that, Mrs. McDonald?
Maybe May. I don't know, maybe May, June, something like that.
Okay. And tell me the first time you saw Gracie.
The first?
The very first session you had with her?
I don't know I can't tell you the very first session. I don't know the dates.
Then give me an estimation of when you initially started seeing her as her therapist.
Maybe about 2 years ago.
And have you provided all your notes to the department, St. Francis Ministries?
Yes, all except this month's notes.
Okay. And when did she start talking about the adoption process with you?
Like I said, probably June, July-ish, maybe something like that. Maybe end of June, early July, something like that.
And you said you didn't recall when Miss LaFever contacted you, did you?
No, I know it wasn't at the beginning when I first saw her. It was after I seen Gracie for a little while.
So it was maybe a year into your treatment for the child?
Something like that, maybe.
Okay. Did you ever reach back out to her to ask her anything to follow up so that way you could work with Gracie on whatever you testified to without her? I guess you said she felt like she didn't have a voice. Did you ever reach out to Miss LaFever to discuss that with her?
Actually, I did not reach out to Miss LaFever. Once I had a conversation with Graciana and she expressed to me her thoughts about our contact, being that Graciana was my client, then I kind of left my focus there. I know that her case manager that she had at the facility was in constant contact with everybody who was involved, as well as her caseworker for St. Francis, who was speaking directly to all parties, including myself, that there was no need for me to continue a relationship with Miss LaFever.
Do you believe, in your professional opinion, that it wouldn't have helped at all in trying to determine the family therapy dynamic and the relationship with her parents in individual therapy?
Okay, can you say it again?
Sure. Okay. So in your professional opinion, talking to the prior family therapist would have not been beneficial in your individual treatment for this child in dealing with the relationships she has with her adoptive parents?
My professional opinion would be if it was said to me that the goal was for Graciana to return home, yes.
Have you ever been told that that was the goal?
No, not until right now, this month, because
let me ask you this then. So as you sit here today,
Mhm.
for 2 years of therapy with Gracie, no one ever indicated to you that the goal for this child's permanency was family reunification.
No one told me that family reunification was an option. Every time I was informed, I was told that they presented the option and that one of the parents, which I don't know who, said no.
Okay, so you were relying on something and some sort of information, and you were never able to verify that. Would you agree with me, Ms. McDonald?
No, I would not, because I believe that the caseworkers, once again, who was involved, who were actively coming to court with Graciana, were very much being informed of what was happening with the family.
So Heidi was the person that kept telling you there was no reunification?
I believe she was one of them.
Okay, who else? Who else told you that reunification was not an option?
Well, as long as the mom was saying no, then reunification was not an option, correct?
Well, would you agree with me that that's not your decision to make? You would agree with me that that is something the department has to staff and determine as to what's appropriate. And your sole job is to provide therapeutic intervention for a child that has significant needs. Would you agree?
Your Honor, I'm going to object at this time solely because it appears that there's some confusion of what the goal is for the child that St. Francis makes and that the court recognizes versus Ms. McDonald's individual therapeutic goals for the child that she's taking into account that the mother is saying, or that a parent said they're not ready for the child to come home yet. So I object just for clarification.
Okay, overruled. I know where I'm understanding where she's going. Go ahead.
So wouldn't you agree with Ms. McDonald, instead of just relying on stuff people are telling you, talking to the family therapist would have been beneficial for determining the best course of treatment for Gracie and her future?
Well, actually, talking to the parent would have been best. Not talking to the family therapist.
Did you ever?
No, I did not. No, I did not speak to the parents, and neither did the parents reach out to me, which is typically what happens in a situation like this, to be honest. Typically, I have multiple contacts with a parent throughout time in a situation where the child would be unified. I've never heard from these parents.
Well, let me ask you, if you hadn't heard from them, were you concerned and could you have reached out to them?
Once again, if it was a belief that the child would be reunified, the answer would have been yes.
Objection non-responsive.
Overruled.
Let me ask you this question and just answer it with a yes or no if you can.
Oh, let's not start that, Ms. Kramer.
Okay, well, let me ask you, could you have reached out to the parents from a therapeutic perspective?
Could I have reached out to the parent from a therapeutic perspective? I probably could have reached out to the parent from the therapeutic perspective.
And if you could have reached out, do you think that the parents who've had this child since she was 3 years old would have probably been a really great resource to help you to determine Gracie's history and maybe help you engage her better?
Well, since I wasn't struggling with engaging with Gracie, I knew that I was going to be able to build my own relationship with her therapeutically, which did happen.
Okay.
From my understanding, ma'am, this is a child that has been placed in a home and is under the care of St. Francis.
Okay.
That's my understanding. So when I'm speaking to St. Francis and I'm communicating with them, I am communicating with who I need to communicate with.
Okay. And so
if the parents wanted to find out any information, if they wanted to contact me, they surely could have, which has happened multiple times with children from St. Francis and many other agencies.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So you relied completely on what St. Francis was telling you?
I did exactly what the parents did because we both relied completely on that person. They did not contact me, which they could have if they wanted to.
person, specifically Heidi?
The caseworker, yes, it would have been Heidi.
Okay. Let me ask you this. You also relied on information from Gracie, did you not, for therapy for her?
I did.
And you're aware that she's been diagnosed with Fragile X syndrome, which causes low intellectual functioning. Are you aware of that?
I am.
And you're aware that she's been diagnosed with FASD, which is fetal alcohol syndrome disorder, which also causes issues with functioning.
Okay.
Are you aware that she's been diagnosed with that?
I did not know that she had fetal alcohol syndrome.
Have you been provided any type of reports from her medical providers regarding the fact that she has what's qualified as a split brain?
No.
Okay. And as far as you know, her diagnoses are what? What are her diagnoses?
Autism spectrum disorder. I think she had oppositional defiant disorder. I did know, I think that she had maybe intellectual disability. I didn't know the cause of the intellectual disability, but I did know that she had one. I know that I discussed with Elijah's house about some intellectual disability support, which Graciana did not qualify for at the time. So no.
Let me ask you this. Whenever you start therapy with a child, are you given any prior history or reports based on the child's prior placement?
Based on the child's prior placement, sometimes I'm given stuff like her coming up. Maybe I can review her CANS assessment. I can look at a psychological, but
okay. Have you looked at a psychological regarding Gracie? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes, I haven't looked at the most recent one, I don't believe, but I have looked at a psychological concerning Gracie.
And what was that one dated? Do you know?
I don't know. No.
Have you looked at her CANS assessment?
Yes.
And how many have you looked at? I mean, I'm assuming she's had multiple ones. Would you agree?
Yes, probably she's required to have one a year.
Have you looked at all of them in the 2 years you've been treating her?
Not all of them. Well, probably yes. In the 2 years that I've been treating her, actually yes. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm so confused as to are you saying right now? Because I'm getting the feeling. No, I'm getting the feeling that you're saying that because I had a conversation with Graciana about adoption.
I'm going to object to non-responsive.
Sustained. Wait, just answer the question you're asked, Ms. McDonald. Next question.
Thank you, Judge. Have you ever contacted any of Gracie's prior therapists?
No, ma'am, I have not.
After she was hospitalized in May or June of 2026, did you review her medical records?
No, ma'am, I wouldn't review her medical records.
With regard to her talking positively about her father, what date in your notes did she do that?
I can't tell you the date, but I know she did it, so you'd have to review them.
Well, and I'm looking through there and I can't find it, so that's why I asked you.
I'm not sure what the date is. I know that was done. She talked positive about her father all throughout her stay at Elijah's house. She hasn't said anything negative about her father.
And where is the negative things? I mean, I have 103 pages of notes from you, and I have not found anywhere that she has spoken negatively about her mother. Where would you have documented that?
I'm not sure. You'd have to review all 103 pages.
Well, I did. And that's what I'm asking. I haven't found. I would like to know where you documented that.
Well, you'd have to review all 103 pages. Well, if you'd like for me to review them and then call you back and let you know the date, I'm willing to do that. But I know in several of those notes, I've stated things like Graciana is happy to have a relationship with her father or something that I said to notify that. I haven't just come out and say Graciana dislikes her mother or doesn't want to have a relationship with her mother or whatever. I'm not going to do that. I am going to say what she says as best that I can and as professionally as I can.
So in your testimony today, you are testifying that you have somewhere in your notes notated that she does not want or has a poor relationship with her mother.
I'm not going to say exactly what I said in my testimony today because I can't directly say exactly what I said. But in my notes, there are going to be some type of notification about whatever she's said to me.
Okay. And let me ask you this with regard to your documentation that you've provided. You indicated that she voiced to you that Leigh Ann LaFever made her feel like she didn't have a voice, where I don't see where that's documented either. Would you have documented that?
Okay. Once again, earlier in our conversation, from the first person who was talking to me, I stated that Graciana felt like she didn't have a voice when she arrived at Elijah's house. That was one of the things. That was one of the things. Okay.
My question to you is, would you have documented that conversation with this child in your notes?
I'm not sure that I would have. I don't know exactly what I said.
Do you think that's something important to include in your progress and therapy?
I actually kind of feel like I wrote a letter or something. I wrote a letter about a letter at some point in time. I believe there is actually a letter about Graciana and what she told me during that conversation. I'm not sure exactly, but I believe there's a letter or something that states something like that.
Well, who would you have sent that letter to?
That letter is included in the documentation that you have already.
And when would you have written that letter?
I don't know when.
So it's your testimony today. You've provided that letter to St. Francis.
That letter is provided.
To St. Francis?
That letter is provided to whoever requested records.
Okay. I pass the witness.
Ms. Madrano?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. McDonald, to clarify on the goals of reunification, was that these goals were your therapeutic goals, correct, of not reunifying?
Correct. They were only therapeutic goals. I don't make any other goals for her.
And most of this information came to you from St. Francis and from Graciana, is that correct?
Most of the information that I have would, because therapy is supposed to be a safe place for my client to come and express her thoughts and her own, I'm supposed to be a emotional support provider for her to help her figure out where she is. It's not my goal, in her individual therapy for me to take care of all of the court's business. That's not my business.
It is your number one priority to have a good rapport and relationship with your client, which would be Graciana.
That is my number one concern.
And when it was reported to you by Graciana that relationship was damaged, when you communicated with Ms. LaFever, you took remedies to resolve that concern, correct?
That is correct.
Because again, your number one priority has always been Graciana.
It's Graciana, and that's why when Graciana made the statement that she made and she acted the way that she acted towards me, I resorted back to, this is my client. This is my top priority. I have to care for her needs and concerns at this moment.
And would your relationship or rapport to Graciana also be taken into consideration when you reach out to other parties about information about her and things like that?
Objection.
That's correct.
Objection leading.
Overruled.
She's not my witness. Now, there's been some concern about your notes reflecting nothing regarding dad or mom. Is that correct?
According to whoever that was just there, yes.
Now, do you recall a note? And I mean, this might be a little hard because this is from June of 2025, but does something sound familiar of that you expressed in your notes that Gracie has the idea that she's wanted by dad, but not by her mom?
That sounds accurate.
And did she also end her therapy session that day stating that you just don't know my mom?
Positively could have happened, if that's what I wrote.
And it can be a little hard to recall all of these notes given you've been her therapist for well over a year.
Right. It could be.
And can it be hard to recall exactly what was said every session?
I cannot recall what was said every session.
Objection.
Yeah, I won't pretend to recall what was said every session, ma'am. I can't.
And you clearly don't have your notes in front of you, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you wouldn't be able to have them in front of you right now, is that right?
That's correct.
Objection relevance.
Overruled.
Now, do you also recall a note back in June 20th of 2025, something along the lines of that you tried family therapy, that Grace had tried family therapy and stated that it was unsuccessful?
Yes.
That she was shut down during the session and that she feels like she does not want to be a part of a family that'll hurt her.
Possible, yes. If that's what I wrote in that note, that's definitely what was said and what happened.
And did you note that she presented as very hurt in that session?
Judge, I'm going to object to this line of questioning because we don't know if it was family of origin that did hurt her, if this child was referring in therapy. So I think any testimony from Ms. McDonald regarding this specifically would be speculative.
This is just reporting on the
Mr. Emmer, you questioned for 15 minutes about what's in and not in her notes. So Ms. Naranjo's obviously going to be able to ask her if that's in her notes. So overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, did Gracie also report at that same note that at one point she believes that that therapist for family therapy had picked sides and that you had to reassure her that no judgment was involved?
Correct. I definitely stressed to her over and over again that professionally therapists are not designed to have a judgment. Like, we're there to listen and support. We don't judge.
And did you also verify with her that she feels that her voice was taken away somehow during the session and that she may have lived her trauma with talking about her mom?
Right. If that's what I put in a note for that session, that's more than likely what I believed.
And
Professionally.
what date was that, Kendra?
June 20th of 2025. Now, did you also have a note back in December 4th of 2025 where Grace had reported to you that she wanted to stop about having all these fits and that she had an issue where she took a shower because the door was closed because it made her relive that her mom locked her all the time by tricking her?
Yes.
And so is it fair to say that, I'm sorry.
Right. And that's what I meant when I said I don't know if that's true or not. I know that clearly there have been some reviews happening, but I do know that that's what Graciana believes. So that's the perspective that I had to take.
So is it fair to say that your notes do reflect trauma with mom, but more of a positive relationship with dad?
Yes.
Now, did you also write in your overall notes dated December 20th of 2025 that therapy continues to reveal that there is an exception to wanting to go home, which is only to her dad, but not to her adopted mom?
If that's what I wrote in a note, that's my belief. Yes.
And was that kind of a recurring experience throughout your sessions with Graciana?
Yes.
Yes. I would object to the form of the question being as generalized and vague.
Overruled.
Now, did you always try to kind of address this complicated relationship that Graciana had with her mother?
I did. Once again, Graciana and I probably didn't document it as heavily as some of the stuff that I deemed like way more important. But Graciana and I talked a lot about like acceptance and roles in a family once again, and how things can be misinterpreted, and also just the way that she interpreted things, and maybe even trying to look at things from the perspective of the other people involved, to see if there was a way for her to come to any other conclusions. So we talked a lot about forgiveness and the benefits that could happen, especially early on, about if she could rebuild a relationship with her mom that would mimic the one that she, the way she felt about her dad. Like, we had conversations about that. And I do know that that's ultimately the reason why Graciana decided that she wanted to attempt family therapy, because it was possible. And we became so technical at that at Elijah's house that we started to use situations that was happening with other youth in the home to say, hey, this wasn't the most positive experience when you had this or you had this with this peer, but let's talk about restorative rebuilding, and this can happen with your family as well. Like, we were really, really technical about doing this for her.
So would you say it's fair to say that through your sessions, you were trying to rebuild a positive relationship with Graciana and her mother?
Yes, the whole Elijah's house did. Everybody.
So even though your kind of goal, at least for therapeutic wise, may not have been reunification, you certainly were still having it on the table for Graciana?
Yes, like, what kind of therapist don't want a child to be reunified with their mom?
Now, you discussed about family therapy. Do you think it would be beneficial for Grace to have family therapy with her parents?
I did, because I was hopeful. I mean, she had a wonderful relationship with her dad that she kept describing and reiterating over and over again. And based off of the things that I could see, with her dad showing up and him being present and her, talking to him at the times that she let me know, I was like, well, this is wonderful. Maybe this is an option or whatever. So I definitely felt like family therapy would have been could have been a positive experience for them all.
Now, I did notice you're kind of speaking in past tense. Why is that?
Right now, because I'm not sure of like what the perspective is. And to be honest, ma'am, this is what I'm saying. As a therapist, I don't get the luxury of making a judgment call. I can't make them. I can't make judgment calls. But if I have a youth that's presenting to me with internal conflict after internal conflict after internal conflict that's causing emotional distress, and it's coming out in multiple different ways in her life, then that actually is my job to try and help her to resolve the internal conflict that she may be feeling. I don't get to pick what that internal conflict is, nor do I get to be a director of how I'm going to help her how I'm going to help her describe that internal conflict. I have to be a therapist.
Understandable. Now, if the court were to order her, Graciona, to do family group therapy, would you be able to facilitate that family group therapy?
I do not feel that I would be able to. I don't. Because I feel like there needs to be a impartial person who's able to facilitate. I am Graciana's therapist, which she absolutely needs for multiple reasons. You know, she needs her own person, and her family needs a person that can help the family non-biasedly as well. I don't feel like I would be the right person for that.
So is it your opinion that an individual therapist should not be a family therapist for the family
In
group?
in some cases, the scope does not warrant that. Like, it depends on that particular case that you're working with. And to me, I know for myself, I'm an advocate right now. Graciana's my client, and Graciana needs me to be an individual therapist for her.
Now, do you think it's beneficial for Graciona to have therapy in person?
Yes, I think so.
Why do you think that?
Well, because for one, many of Graciana's behaviors and her mannerisms, her body language speak a lot. And as you get to know her, it helps you to be able to, kind of guide what you're going to do or how you're going to help her, because she have a difficult time sometimes, like expressing what it is. Sometimes I use like cards and I put them on the table that present options for her. I use a lot of feeling word charts. I give her tangibles in therapy that she can roll a cube, and that will spark her conversation on how she want to be handled. And some of those things can't be done online, especially with a kid that struggles with expression.
Do you think it would be beneficial that if she has family group therapy, that the therapist be in person at least for Grace?
Actually, yes. I think that would be good.
You think that would be beneficial, even though obviously parents would have to be over Zoom or some kind of virtual means?
Yes, I understand. Yes, I believe that in-person therapy for Graciana is best.
Now, do you think it would be appropriate for Ms. LaFever to continue doing the family group therapy for Grace and her parents?
Object to speculation. So she hasn't reviewed any of the notes, nor has she only talked to her one time.
Yeah, I think she can make her opinion based on her rapport with Graciona.
Overruled. You can, Ms. McDonald, if you can't answer, that's fine. If you say you don't know, then that's a fine answer too. So.
Okay. From Graciana's perspective, no. I feel like they need an impartial person.
Now, what is your opinion regarding Graciona's placement at Elijah House?
I believe that Elijah's House has kind of renewed Graciana's ability to connect in some ways to people, because Graciana has learned at Elijah's House that she's been able to accept herself. That's been a big thing that has occurred while she's at Elijah's house. Even though she truly does have behaviors, we all know that Graciana learned that my behaviors don't mean I don't belong. She knows that, and then that helped her to be able to put her best foot forward in some ways to try and work on some of the things that she was doing. It kind of taught her hey, let me try, because okay, Graciana, let's teach you what's happening in this moment. Oh, this is a way that she's trying to help you. So she's learned multifacets of ways where people have tried to help her. I don't know that wouldn't have happened in other places, but I do know that that's what Elijah's house that's what they did for her.
Now, you testified earlier in your sessions about Gracie bringing up the idea of adoption. Did she tell you how she came up with the idea?
Judge, I'd object again.
I don't think she told me how.
Judge, I'd object.
Overruled. She's already answered it.
Now, are you aware of some letters that Gracie had wrote that were directed to her parents?
Yes, I think I am.
And
I was notified about these letters.
did you help to facilitate or encourage Graciana to write these letters to her parents?
No, I didn't know they existed until after the fact.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, let's start. Ms. Gutierrez, do you have any follow-up?
Just one, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ms. McDonald, would you agree that Graciana is the most important person for you to speak with in her treatment?
The very most important person for me to speak with. Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Kramer?
Ms. McDonald, pursuant to your ethical guidelines, you cannot make a recommendation of custody as a licensed professional counselor. Is that correct?
I can't make a recommendation as far as what?
As far as custody.
Oh, correct.
And you'd agree with me that knowing the goal of the St. Francis Ministries, since they are the conservator of this child, would have been the most important thing in steering the ship for therapy for this child.
No, ma'am, that would not have been the most important thing because those same ethical guidelines won't let them be. The only person that's important is Graciana.
That's all I have. Thank you, Judge.
All right, Ms. Naranjo, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. McDonald, have all of your sessions with Gracie over these last 2 years, have they all been in person?
Yes, sir. They've all been in person.
Have you ever had a problem with anyone, whether it be staff at the placement or anyone else listening in to your therapy sessions?
No, not that I've had.
Okay.
No.
Did Gracie, in your conversations about adoption, did she tell you who she wanted to be adopted by?
She did. And yes, when she told me that, I asked her, I was like, why do you want that? Like, have you thought about what it means, what adoption means and stuff like that? And she told me yes.
Do you recall a name of who she wanted to be adopted by?
Yes. This lady named Miss Chandra.
And do you know, is she on the staff at the placement?
She was, but I haven't seen her lately. I don't really know exactly what happened, but I know I haven't seen her.
Okay.
And I know, yeah.
Okay. Has Gracie ever commented to you that she doesn't like virtual therapy?
No, she hasn't. She's never told me that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Can she be excused?
No objection.
No objection.
All right. Ms. McDonald, thank you for your testimony. I'll remove you so you can go about your afternoon's business.
Judge, can I ask?
Yeah. What?
Can I ask her one more question?
Yeah, real quick.
Have you ever talked to Chandra about adopting Gracie?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Are you friends with Chandra?
No, ma'am.
Okay, pass the witness.
Okay. All right. Thank you again for your testimony, Ms. McDonald.
Your Honor, I should have a Craven Guevara in the waiting room, although I do need like a 3 to 5 minute break for the
Well,
rest.
and let me tell you, this is as good a time to bring it up. We're going to have to cut off at noon. We've got a full afternoon's docket, so I'm already trying to look at a recess date. So yeah, we'll take about a 5-minute break, and I'll try to get that date.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Hi, Miss Heidi. Hi, Gracie. Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll get started again. Ms. Gutierrez, you can call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department calls Craven Guevara.
Okay.
Good
Ma'am,
morning.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. And then during that conversation, she stated that Graciana better not come up there, and she gave me all these things that Graciana should not do. Like, she shouldn't be acting crazy. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. If you'd raise your right hand, do you swear the testimony you give will be the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Guevara, what is your job and profession?
I am the executive director of Elijah House Children Services, as well as co-owner.
And that is where Gracie is placed, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what type of placement is Gracie in?
She's in a general residential operation that provides treatment services for youth and care.
Is that also known as a group home?
No, it's known as a general residential operation.
Okay, thank you. Now, there have been some talks about the child discussing adoption. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell me how the adoption issue came up with Graciana?
So Graciana did not bring it to me. Miss Chandra called me. And to clarify, Chandra is one of my employees. She is a current employee at Elijah House. Ms. Chandra called me sometime at the end of April and asked if Gracie was eligible for adoption. She didn't know the vicinity or all the details of Graciana's case. And so I told her, well, I don't believe so, because her parents still have her rights. And so she asked, well, what if she wanted to be adopted? And I said, well, I don't know about that. And so we kind of tidied up our conversation and I let it pass. And then maybe a few weeks later, Miss Chandra asked me again. And at the time, I just kind of kept it to myself and kind of put a pin in it just for me. But when she asked me again, she said, Raven, I'm serious. I would love to have Graciana. And so I said, okay. I said, well, let me contact her caseworker. And so I did. And I just kind of put a pin in it and let it be that. And then maybe a week later, Miss Chandra asked for Graciana's caseworker's information. And so she was like, I want to know if she can be adopted. And so I said, well, let me talk to her. I said, I hadn't had a chance to talk to Heidi. And I just kind of was sweeping it under the rug. And so then I placed a phone call to Heidi. I can't remember the exact date. And I said, hey, I know Graciana, essentially this is what I said, but basically I know Graciana is not technically up for adoption, but there is someone who is interested in adopting her. And so she asked me her name. I gave her her name, and I let her know. I said, this is one of my staff members. And I also told her, I am passing this to you because I do not want any parts. And she laughed, I laughed, and that was the end of that.
And let me ask a couple more questions.
Yes, ma'am.
What conflict of interest, if any, is there for a staff in a generalized residential center to express an interest in adopting a child there?
None.
Are you aware of any ethical rules for a staff member that bar this proposal?
No.
And are there any regulations that your center is governed by that bar that?
No.
To your knowledge, has anybody brought this up to Gracie?
No.
What conversations, if any, has Gracie brought up on her own about adoption?
So Gracie came to me.
I have child hearsay that does not qualify under any exception because she is not a treatment provider in a professional sense.
That's not what's being asked. And Gracie's a party to this lawsuit, so that's overruled. Go ahead, you can answer.
I'm sorry, can you, I lost the question. Can you ask that one time?
Yes. What has Gracie brought up on her own about adoption, if anything?
So right after her birthday, when it comes to this and Miss Chandra, Graciana asked if she can be adopted by Miss Chandra. And so I was like, girl, go away. And so she was like, but I want to be adopted. And so I just kind of laughed and shoot it under the rug. And then we have not spoken directly about it since. She has asked additional questions, and I have told her that we are currently going through a process. We did have one additional conversation. I believe it was the 23rd. I personally took her to an appointment, and she asked, why is it hard for her to be adopted? And I gave her the most politically correct answer. And then more so stuck to, this is going to be a process and we have to go through the process. Now, as long as I have had Graciana has always asked me to take her home and adopt her. And I told her she's mine regardless.
As far as the July 2025 order, are you aware that a neuropsychological evaluation applied behavioral analysis, and pharmacogenetic testing were all ordered by this court for Gracie?
Yes, because I, as a placement, requested it.
Now, as far as the pharmacogenetic testing, that was completed, is that correct?
Yes.
Where are we with the applied behavioral analysis therapy, also known as ABA therapy?
So at this time, Graciana is currently waitlisted for ABA therapy. We are in a very saturated region where either the provider has an extremely long wait list or other providers do not take Superior Health, which is the insurance that I have always known Graciana to have. And with that being said, I have also done other avenues of taking her to the Harris Center, which is our local mental health authority. Last year, actually shortly after, let me take a step back, shortly before that court hearing, to have a full evaluation done for her to be able to also receive resources from the Harris Center. And per the report from the Harris Center, Graciana did qualify for services under the IDD and autism scope, but she did not qualify for a level of care. So therefore, she was very limited in the services that she could receive. And one of those that she could not receive was ABA therapy. And so that was just another avenue to try to get her the ABA therapy that I, as placement, requested that she receive.
And it sounds like even before this was court ordered, you were trying to find a way for the child to receive this therapy. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. We went through, myself as well as my director of compliance, went about 4 or 5 months with different providers trying to get Graciana even evaluated. Another barrier at that time that we found was that Graciana did not have a formal autism diagnosis. Her autism diagnosis fell off somewhere between 2023 and 2024. Prior to that, and when she was home with mom and dad, she did have that diagnosis, but somehow with all the changes and movement with Graciana, when she had a psychological done, the autism diagnosis actually fell off, which was our reasoning for requesting a neuropsych to get that put back on.
And so has that autism diagnosis been reissued or re-diagnosed?
Yes, it has. It has been re-diagnosed by 3 different providers. The Harris Center, recently, Peter Moore gave us a psychological with the autism diagnosis. And then we also, on the 23rd of July, I personally took her to Think Neurology, where he did give her the autism diagnosis. But per the doctor's report, it was like a really low. She like kind of barely met the criteria for autism.
Okay. How many months after, let me phrase it this way. In giving the court an idea of when after that was ordered in July of 2025, when did placement, your facility, start trying to find ABA therapy for the child again?
Immediately.
Okay.
That was not something that we waited on. It was something that we did immediately. And per the report from the Harris Center, when we were trying, that was on August 7th. The report came back August 7th, and I actually had a meeting with them like the following week to go over those results to see why, even though they gave her the diagnosis, why she could not get the ABA therapy.
Now, you mentioned that she was waitlisted. Has anybody given you a time frame of weeks or months?
They start off with years. They might say a year, and then they'll say to just call back, or they'll say it'll be some time. This also, another thing that plays into factor is Graciana is now in she's in middle school. And so attendance is obviously mandatory. Now, there are other ways around where we could kind of manipulate her schedule for her to go during the day, but we want her to obviously get her education. So therefore, we were looking at after school options for either in-home ABA or in-person ABA, even with an organization that we currently work with, where we have other youth who attend ABA therapy. That is an hour commute, but that was something that we were willing to do to support her. However, Graciana's physical aggression at times when she doesn't want to do things was the reason why they denied for her to attend.
In regards to the neuropsychological evaluation, can you tell where we are? Can you tell us where you are with that?
So I took her on the 23rd to Think Neurology. This was an appointment that had already been scheduled after the first failed attempt to get her, and this was, I believe, in either April or May, to get her for a neuropsych that she refused to attend. I took her to Think Neurology. She has been referred over to Memorial Hermann. I believe it's the Memorial City location. They are partnered with the Dunn Center, which is also a part of the Harris Center, to get that neurology scheduled. Now, if you are to call the Memorial Hermann that she was referred over to, they have a 5 to 10 business day processing time per their answering machine. However, when I have called, and that was as of this morning, because it was just kind of fresh on my mind, they are still processing the referral request that was sent over. And I have sent over those records to St. Francis. So they do have a copy that she was referred over for that neuropsych again.
Thank you, Ms. Guevara. As far as Gracie's struggles and behaviors, what improvement have you seen since she was placed with you?
Graciana has been able to become a happy kid. There was a good year that she was just mad, and she was refusing any and all redirections, and that was from most adults in my facility. I have the closest relationship with Graciana, and something to note is that this is my second time having Graciana. So it was very intentional on my behalf to receive her back and to put in the work with her. But she has really become this happy kid, and she smiles, and she is able to make friends. She's able to stay at school. These are things that a year, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that we would actually be in this place. She just has kind of grown into this little woman, still with behavioral issues. We still have that, but she knows what she can kind of get away with. And she'll even say, Miss Raven will do it. And most of the time I will, but she's just a different person.
Now, as far as visitation from her family, how many visits, if you have the number, has her father made to see her?
I would say 5 or 6 times. And somebody can correct me. I believe it has been 5 or 6 times that Dad has actually come to Houston and seen her.
Does she have regular phone calls with her parents?
Graciana can call her parents during our scheduled call times. Graciana, for the most part, has chosen not to call her parents. And if she does, she typically calls Dad. If she does call Mom, she calls Mom to see where Dad is. But that's probably a bulk of what that looks like. I will say this, communication over the last month and a half, maybe a little bit more, has increased. And that has been since she has openly discussed with her parents, in particular Mom, about wanting to be adopted.
Okay. Now, there's been some evidence before that the child wrote letters to her parents. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you facilitate those letters?
No, ma'am. I was provided the letters from my staff. And I asked Graciana, because of the language, I actually asked Graciana to rewrite the letters. And they were just a slight bit better. And then I personally gave those letters over to her attorney. I handed them over to her attorney, and
You muted yourself.
I apologize. I don't know what the last part that you heard, but I stated that I did not facilitate the letters. I received the original letters, and I asked Graciana to rewrite them because of the language, and she did rewrite them, and they still had a lot of language in them, but I turned them actually over to her attorney, as well as St. Francis.
Now, was there a letter to Dad and a different letter to Mom, or was it one letter to both?
It was 2 separate letters.
Okay. What was the general substance of her letter to dad?
Honestly, off the top of my head, I can't remember.
That's okay. I'll move on to a different question.
I can't remember the actual substance of the letters. I remember they had some cussing.
At this time, given the fact that she says she can't remember, that it's speculative, and I would say that it's not relevant for the purposes of a perm hearing.
Sustained.
Now, Ms. Guevara, how many in-person visits has Mrs. Campbell made to visit Gracie while she's been at Elijah House?
None.
And how many in-person visits have her siblings made to Elijah's house since Gracie's been placed there?
None.
How many trips home has Gracie made to her parents since Gracie's been placed there at Elijah House?
None.
Now, was there a trip that was planned earlier in the year?
In May, actually prior to May, I, as placement, made the decision to surprise Graciana and to take her home to see her family, because that is what Graciana has wanted. She has wanted to see dad. She hadn't seen him in a couple of months. And so I initially reached out to dad and stated, about this trip. Dad circled back and included mom. There was kind of some back and forth with dates. And then I ended up getting caught up with like 3 site visits that were not necessarily unannounced, but they were just scheduled, and I didn't have much time to pivot. And so I had to delay my trip because initially it was supposed to be the actual weekend of Graciana's birthday. And I had also spoken with Heidi regarding this visit that I, as placement, was planning. There was a conversation, and I had not spoken with Joanna in quite some time, but we ended up having a conversation, and I felt uncomfortable bringing Graciana. I did not feel like it was going to put her in the best headspace based off of the restrictions on her behavior.
I'm going to object to narrative and non-responsive. She just may visit. I think she answered that question.
No, Ms. Guevara, it sounds like you had a conversation.
Have a ruling?
I did. I sustained it.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay. Ms. Guevara, it sounds like you talked to Mrs. Campbell about that visit you wanted to do for Gracie's birthday. Is that correct?
Yes.
How did she respond to that proposal?
Initially, she was fine with it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and don't fully quote me, she was fine with that date, and then I had to reschedule. So she gave me dates that she would be traveling, dad would be traveling. I think that Sissy and brother, I think Jackson might have somebody had a band concert. I remember that, and I think brother or someone had something else. And so that only left like one weekend. And then during that conversation, she stated that Graciana better not come up there, and she gave me all these things that Graciana should not do. Like, she shouldn't be acting crazy. She should be on her best behavior. And there were some other things I honestly cannot fully remember. That was the gist of the conversation. And so I just said, okay, and went about my way.
Now, Ms. Guevara, did you having known Gracie for 2 years, and she lives there at your facility, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Based on your observation of Gracie, did you have concerns with Gracie's ability to meet the requirements that Ms. Campbell had laid out?
Yes.
And it's not that Mrs. Campbell was asking for something unreasonable. However, in light of Gracie's diagnoses and struggles, how did you feel about that?
Objection as to relevance.
Overruled.
I believe that what mom believes is acting crazy, or the severity of misbehaviors in a way is normal for a child who is on the spectrum. And with
as to what my client thinks, I don't think, unless Raven and she have talked about it specifically, I think she asked the conversation, and she said she didn't want her acting crazy or be on her best behavior, and that's all she could remember. And I'd object to anything further than that as being speculative as to what she believes my client thinks.
Good thing.
Okay. Now, Ms. Guevara, based specifically on the request that you testified to, that Ms. Campbell made, do you believe that Gracie's diagnosis would allow her to meet those expectations of Mrs. Campbell?
Objection, outside the realm of her ability to testify to. She's not a physician. She's not a therapist.
Okay, I got you. Speculation sustained.
We'll move on. Now, Ms. Guevara, you had recently offered to fly Gracie home and back. Is that correct?
Yes.
What was the time frame you were hoping for that to occur in?
I wanted that to take place before school started.
And why is that?
Due to if there was something to happen while Gracie was there, I could quickly get her back into what is currently her safe space and her safe zone and really work with her to get her regulated. So when school starts, we won't have her upset or in a super depressive state. Education is number one to me. And that's my kid's only job. And so I wanted her to be able to go to school and start fresh and just be a happy kid.
Okay. Now, what would have flying Gracie home and back from Elijah House to up in the Texas Panhandle, what would that have entailed for you?
I would be leaving my children and I would be going with Graciana for a day or two while she was there. For the birthday trip in question, it was going to be a same day trip where I would take her. We would hopefully land that morning and turn around and come back.
Now, Ms. Guevara, regarding this last offer to take Gracie and bring her back, if it occurred before school started, did you ever receive an acceptance to that offer?
No. I have had one conversation with Gracie and Joanna stated that the earliest Gracie could come home was the 28th, and I believe that was because Dad was working.
Are you aware that there's a Labor Day weekend visit scheduled for Graciana to visit her parents?
Yes.
And do you have any concerns about that Labor Day weekend schedule?
Judge, I object to speculation.
Overruled.
Testified as recently as just a month, just before school starts, she was going to fly her up here.
Overruled. You can answer the question, ma'am.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Sure. What concerns do you have about Gracie visiting home over the Labor Day weekend?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Okay. With Graciana visiting, I am afraid, or my concern, is that she will become overwhelmed. We have had some recent behavioral challenges surrounding the visits, surrounding her talks or not being able to talk about being adopted. And even with recent phone calls, we have experienced behaviors afterwards that included damage of a $4,000 couch. And so I am concerned that one thing that does not go well will send Graciana into a spiral and she will end up in the hospital. And I have worked really hard to keep Graciana out of that environment. So that is my only concern. I really want her to see her family. Graciana has stated several times that she wants to see her family. And that is the truth. I just want her to feel safe when she's there. And that she comes back in the same headspace that I sent her there with.
As the executive director.
Let me stop you here, Ms. Gutierrez. How much longer are you going to be? We're cutting into our 30-minute next
I'm
hearing.
down to my last question, Your Honor, and then I can pass the witness.
Okay.
Ms. Guevara, as the executive director, as Elijah House, and as a person having a relationship with Gracie, what are your hopes for Gracie?
I hope that Gracie becomes a law-abiding citizen. That is my only hope for her, that she becomes literally a law-abiding citizen, an adult, that she is able to be happy in the story that everyone is writing for her, that she will be able to write her own version. That's my only hope.
Okay, I'm ready. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, we're going to have to recess to take up our other hearings. I'm waiting to hear. My last hearing on Wednesday starts at 1:30. I'm sorry, 12:30. I'm assuming would be through by 1:30. Is everybody available to come back at 1:30 on Wednesday?
Judge, I'm checking my calendar right now, and will the same witnesses will be present. Is that?
Yeah, and I'm going to get to that, asking if anybody's under subpoena, and I'll keep them under subpoena.
Your Honor, I can answer that now if you want, or
Answer it.
later. They are not under subpoena. They are in Houston area, so they are outside the civil
Okay.
subpoena range.
All right. Miss LaFever's not under subpoena.
Not today.
Okay. All right. So I'm waiting to see if y'all can come. If we can't do it Wednesday at 1:30, we'll just have to send you an email with several dates and y'all can decide what works best for y'all.
Judge, I have a temporary hearing in Hereford on that day at 1:30, and so we'll just email for dates. I apologize.
Okay. That's all right. Now, this is always a problem. So we'll get you several dates and we'll email those to you, and then the lawyers can all talk to see when we're coming back. So let me go ahead and bring everybody in that was going to testify. I know Miss LaFever was one. Let me go down the list real quick. Michael Wrinkle, Christina Hunter.
Mr. Wrinkles for another hearing, Judge.
Okay, Annalise Sanders, Braxton York, and the rest are lawyers. So
I think it's just Christina Hunter that I had not planned to testify, planned to call her as a witness, but she is tied into this case.
And
okay.
Mr. York is for another hearing.
Okay, so all I need in is Dr. LaFever and
Christina Hunter.
Christina Hunter. Okay, let me get them in and let them know. Christina Hunter and Ms. LaFever, if you two would unmute.
Hi, Your Honor.
Hi,
Hello.
afternoon. Listen, we are going to have to recess this case. We've got a full docket this afternoon, and it's gone much longer than we were anticipating. Lawyers haven't been able to agree on a date yet. So if they need you to testify, you'll be contacted again when we have a date set. So I apologize for, especially Ms. LaFever, for you wasting so much time this morning, but we will get you some dates about when we will reconvene, and whoever was going to have you testify, they'll let you know if they still need you or not. So you're free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you all. All right, I will be back very shortly to call our next two related status hearings on the York and the Sanders children. So y'all have a good week.
Hey, Tracy.
Yes, ma'am.
My worker on the next one will be Mickey Lane.
Mickey, they're not in the waiting room yet, so.
Okay, let me reach out to her.
You said Mickey Lane?
Yes.
Okay, I'll watch.
Yeah, she's getting in right now.
Thanks, Aaron.
Okay, it is past noon. Apologize for the delay. Our last hearing went longer than we thought it would. I will call two Randall County related cases, both here on the status hearings. First case being cause number 88544L2. That's a status hearing involving the child. In that case, Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Ms. Naranjo is with us representing the child. Ms. Archer is with us representing the mother. Ms. Sanders, who is with us. Randall Parrish, the alleged father in that case, is not with us and not in the waiting room. I will also call cause number 88545L2. This is a status hearing involving again, Ms. Gutierrez for the department, Ms. Naranjo for the children. In that case, Ms. Kincaid represents the father, Braxton York. He is also with us. And Ms. Archer again represents the mother, Ms. Sanders, who is with us. I have Michael Wrinkle in the waiting room. That's my only person in the waiting room.
Mr. Wrinkle is for the 1245 hearing, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Then we are ready to proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department calls Mickey Lane as its witness.
Okay. Ms. Lane, do you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. We also ask that the court take judicial notice of the court report filed on August 3rd, 2026.
All right. I have read both of those reports.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mickey, you are the appointed caseworker for Wyatt, Brantley, and Ava. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I should have said assigned. You're the assigned caseworker, correct?
Correct.
Since the filing of the court report, can we get an update on Wyatt?
Wyatt is doing good in the home. He does have some anxiety when it comes to caseworkers and CPS coming into the home. He has expressed an interest in retaking his ADHD medications. He engages in football. He is going to Bottom Middle School this year, and should be starting tomorrow. But he is doing overall well.
And he continues to be placed with his father, Braxton York. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And his brother Brantley is placed with him as well. Is that correct?
Correct.
How is Brantley doing since the filing of the court report?
Brantley is pretty much the same. He is very nervous around authority figures. However, he really enjoys staying in the home with his dad. He plays football. Both Wyatt and Brantley are very sweet children that make lots of jokes, like putting on little children dresses to get a laugh out of you. So they are very rowdy boys, very rowdy.
Thank you for that detail. And Ava's placed with her brother at Mr. York's home. Is that correct?
Correct.
How is she doing since the filing of the court report?
She also does well in the home. She is struggling with which has been informed to me that she's always kind of been a little throwing fits and stuff. But all three children are very active, and Braxton has engaged them in a psychological through Stonebridge, which we are waiting on those results.
Okay. And based on those results, will the department assess whether or not the children need to be referred for therapy?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, this case is already scheduled. The case with Brantley and Wyatt is already scheduled for mediation. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. As far as Ms. Sanders, how is she doing since the filing of the court report?
Ms. Sanders is very communicative about her use and knowingly, willingly being positive. She is talking about going into outpatient Synacor treatment. And if that not working, she's also looked at Dovetree and Lubbock to go inpatient for treatment for her drug use. She will be attending counseling with Lynn Jennings. This is a counselor Ms. Sanders has seen most of her life. And she is working on engaging in parenting classes, and she has signed and agreed to her family plan of service.
Now, in regards to Ms. Sanders communicating with you about her drug use, what substance has she identified, if any?
Methamphetamine.
Okay. And were there concerns in her most recent urinalysis drug screen?
Yes, she was positive.
Okay. And based on that, are we asking that her visits be made virtual only?
Yes.
Okay. And are we also asking the court to set a condition that she can meet in order to go back to in-person visits as well?
Yes, with a negative UA.
And what are the updates on Mr. Braxton other than him having those evals scheduled for the kids?
Mr. Braxton, he's doing well. He does have a lot of anxiety with the extra pressure of carrying it all. But he's overall done well. He sometimes is hard to get a hold of, but he is communicating and he is attempting to do everything we ask of him for the children. You can definitely tell he's a father and relied heavily on Miss Sanders with some of the motherly scheduling and whatnot of appointments. The children do have a dentist appointment coming up through Braxton on August 25th. The parents have agreed to have the children seen through Texas Tech because their current doctor has been very difficult to get a hold of. Braxton has agreed and assigned his family plan of service as well. And he's attempting to meet everything we've asked him to do with the children.
And what are the updates regarding Ava's alleged father, Randall Parrish?
So Randall Parrish, I did have a little bit of communication back in June, over the phone though. He was to meet me in the office, and he did not show to that appointment. I had sent him messages, went out to his home since then. I did not get a response until Friday of last week when I sent him a copy of his DNA scheduling to DNA schedule for Ava. In which he responded, is this for the DNA? And I stated, yes, I've been trying to reach you. And then he stopped responding again.
Thank you, Mickey. As far as visitation, I understand we're asking for some changes to visitation today, but in the past, how have mom's visits been going with the kids?
The visits are very extremely active visits. The children, we actually moved it to the visitation house just because the children, the boys like to play outside. They love running. It's very, very active, very loud, all over the place chaos.
And are there any concerns with those visits?
There are some concerns with the children's behavior, but that is why we also made sure that they received psychologicals. There have been some statements made during those visits that have been concerning. But Braxton has actually shown to be redirecting the children during those visitations to try to get them to behave in a manner that's appropriate during those visits.
Okay. So when you say there's been concerning statements, those were not made by Ms. Sanders. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. As far as the alleged father, Randall Parrish, Has he responded to any attempts to set up visitation for him and Ava?
The only thing he had stated back in June when I did have stable communication with him was that he wanted to have the DNA completed to ensure that Ava was his before he engaged in services and visitation. And since then, speaking to him has not been happening.
Now, you mentioned service plans for the parents. Did you create a service plan for Ms. Sanders, Mr. York, as well as Mr. Parrish?
Correct, yes.
And are all of those family plans of service reasonably tailored to the issues from removal?
Yes.
And do they aim to mitigate the reasons for removal?
Yes.
Please identify 2 to 3 services unique to Ms. Sanders and her needs.
So hers is definitely an OSAR for rehabilitation, counseling, and parenting.
And for clarification of the record, is the OSAR a substance abuse assessment?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And for Braxton York, can you please identify 2 to 3 services that are unique to him?
Continuing in stable housing employment and counseling services for him.
I can hold it on my lap.
In regards to Randall Parrish, can you please identify 2 to 3 services that are unique to Mr. Parrish?
Yes, it's random drug screening, the DNA screening. We've also put parenting and counseling as in his service plan as well.
Now, you identified before that Ms. Sanders and Mr. York had signed their service plans. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did they both review the service plan as well?
Yes, they did.
And in regards to Mr. Parrish, have you sent that service plan to him?
I've attempted to, but it has not made it to him and he has not signed at this time.
Can you tell me about your attempts to send it to him?
Yes, I've attempted to take it out to his house 3 times in July. I'd have to look back in my records for exact dates.
I don't need exact dates, but please continue.
Yes, and then I have texted him and I've called him at the number that he did respond to me for the DNA scheduling on multiple occasions with no response to meet, and informing him that I had a service plan and I needed to meet with him monthly.
As far as drug screens, are we asking any drug screens to be ordered today?
No, ma'am.
Do we have any other requests for the court?
We do not at this time.
And can you please identify the reasonable efforts that the department is making to reunify the family?
We've created service plans for the parents and for the children to address reasons of removal and get the parents engaged in services to help them have changed behaviors for the future.
Do those attempts, reasonable efforts to reunify, include attempting to communicate with Mr. Parrish?
Yes, ma'am.
Do they include placing the siblings together?
Yes, ma'am.
Do they include placing all 3 kids with Mr. York?
Yes, ma'am.
I pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Mickey, is the mediation only scheduled in Brantley and Wyatt's case, or is it both cases?
It's just Brantley and Wyatt.
Okay. And you said that Mr. Parrish quit communicating with you, but were you able to communicate with him when and where he needs to go for his paternity test?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, so if he shows up, he knows about it.
Yes, he does.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Archer, questions?
Mickey, are you satisfied that my client Annalise understands each component of the service plan?
Yes, ma'am.
And did she seem perfectly on board with doing each of those?
Yes, ma'am, she does.
Okay. And she's compliant, correct?
Yes, ma'am, she's compliant with me.
Okay. And y'all have a pretty good working relationship, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you, Ms. Kincaid.
Thank you, Your Honor. Has Mr. York been in communication with you since this case opened?
Yes, ma'am, he has.
Okay. Has he complied with what you've asked of him so far?
Yes, ma'am, he has.
Okay. And it's too early to ask if he's compliant with his service plan because we're at the status hearing, but if there's anything that you need in the future, feel free to reach out to my office if you can't get in touch with him.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I'll pass witness.
All right, Ms. Madrano.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Lane, did Ms. Sanders go and drug screen per the court order on June 29th of 2026?
Yes, ma'am.
And do we have those results?
Yes, ma'am.
And when was the last time that Ms. Sanders drug screened?
Ms. Sanders drug screened last week on Friday, and it was also positive.
And that's why you're asking for visitation to be virtual, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So that the children will not be exposed to the current drug usage?
Yes, ma'am.
And could you make sure that all these drug screens are filed for the court?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
I'll pass the witness.
Okay, Ms. Gutierrez, anything further from Ms. Lane?
No, Your Honor, the department rests.
Okay, all right. Ms. Archer, any witnesses?
No, Judge, no witnesses.
Thank you. Ms. Kincaid?
No witnesses, Your Honor. I rest.
All right, thank you. Then Ms. Naranjo, recommendations?
Your Honor, I do believe it's in the children's best interest that the department continue as temporary managing conservator, that the placement continue. They're doing very well with Mr. York, and that Ms. Sanders' visitation be virtual until she can provide a clean UA.
Okay, all right then. Then based on what our case is, I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator. I'll continue all three children's current placements with Mr. York. I will order the services for all three parents as contained in their service plans. And I will order that Ms. Sanders' visitation be virtual until she provides a negative UA, at which time we can go back to in-person. All right, in both cases, our next hearing, the initial permanency hearing, will be on December 7th, 2026. That will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing, so parties can ask their lawyers a day or two before December 7th, or anybody can go on the court's online docket a day or two before December 7th to see what time of day we'll have that hearing, so you're not waiting around in the waiting room for no reason. So.
Yes, ma'am.
What has he told you about what he thinks and how he feels about his responsibility for all this?
He feels like it's his fault.
And does he feel like it's his fault? What does he feel like is his fault?
Everything. If he was a better son, then this wouldn't have happened.
Waiting around in the waiting room for no reason. So. All right, then we'll be in recess on this case. For those of you involved, I'll be back at 12:45 to call a compliance hearing on the Wrinkle child. So we will be in recess. Everybody have a good week. Ms. Gutierrez, you got your hand up.
I do, Your Honor. I try not to interrupt you. Are there any admonishments that the parents need to hear today?
Well, no, I don't really do that anymore because they did away with the O-ground. So I sometimes tell the parents that the court can consider whether or not you've completed your services or worked your services in making a final decision. That's about all I can say with the current status of the law. So,
okay, thank you.
Is there,
somebody saying something?
Yeah, I was seeing if I could speak with Ms. Kincaid real quick.
Sure, I'll put you all in a breakout room, and you can stay there as long as you need to. When you're through, you can just fall off the breakout room. I may be in my next hearing already. So
okay, it's just child support, and
that's fine. I'll put you in your breakout room, and y'all can talk.
Okay.
Give me just a second to get it set up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
No, yeah, baby.
Okay, I'll open that room now.
Mr. York, your hearing's over. If you're done speaking with your attorney, I think you're free to go.
Okay, it's a little past 12:45. Afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Judge.
All right, I will call Randall County case cause number 87870. This is a compliance hearing following an order to participate involving the Wrinkle child. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Ms. Naranjo is with us representing the child. Ms. Archer is with us representing the mother, Mrs. Wrinkle, who is with us. The father, Michael Wrinkle, is with us. His attorney, Mr. Hill, is not with us yet. We'll go ahead and get started, but I will watch the waiting room for Mr. Hill. So. I have Hubert Gonzalez and Andrea Lewis in the waiting room.
Andrea Lewis is my witness on this one, Your Honor, and Mr. Gonzalez is for the next hearing.
Okay. All right, we are ready to proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We ask for a judicial notice. Let me get that date. We asked for judicial notice of the court report filed on July 2nd of 2026.
All right, so noted, and I read the report.
Thank you, and the department calls Andrea Lewis as its witness.
All right. Ms. Lewis, if you'd unmute, please. Thank you. If you'd raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Andrea, who do you work for?
Child Protective Services.
And are you the assigned family-based safety services caseworker for the Wrinkle family?
Yes, ma'am.
And are there any updates on Haley since the filing of the court report?
Haley continues to do very well. She's going to counseling regularly with Brandy Holloway. She goes in person as they go to church in Dumas, so she's able to see Brandy and then attend youth group and church activities. She is fixing to start her freshman year of high school, which she's excited and a little bit nervous about. She continues to do very well with her brother and sister-in-law. They are meeting her needs and taking excellent care of her. She's able to have supervised visitation with her mother, and that is reportedly going well. Also, Haley's doing great.
Hey, now, Ms. Lewis, your court report generally stated that there was a domestic incident or something to that effect between the mother and Mr. Delgado. Is that correct?
There's been reports from family members of Mr. Delgado that there's been incidents going on with Miss Wrinkle and Mr. Delgado. Haley was not removed, but Haley was placed with her brother due to concerns of Miss Wrinkle's mental health, as well as concerns of alcohol use, and then of course the relationship with Mr. Delgado.
Okay. Now, you said concerns of Miss Wrinkle's mental health. Can you provide the details to the court of what those concerns are?
Back in May, she was going through a hard time, and she took medication in an attempt to harm herself. Haley was present in the home at the time. She did receive medical treatment for that. But when talking to Haley, it really scared her and upset her. And so at that time, we discussed options with putting Haley with her brother Hayden. So since that time, I've worked with Deanna in trying to get her set up with Texas Panhandle Centers. We've also got her extended sessions with Delois. She just resumed her counseling with Delois last week. There's been some transport issues and scheduling issues. She's awaiting to get her mental health assessment done with TPC.
Just a moment, Andrea.
Sure.
Your Honor, there's a message from Natalie that Jeff is in the waiting room.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I'd watch and I didn't. So I get him in.
Thank you, Teresa.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Natalie. Andrea, I'm so sorry for interrupting
It's
you.
okay.
You were telling us that mom had resumed counseling with Delois, and please continue.
Yes, and she's...
For the record, excuse me. For the record, Mr. Hill has now joined us. So, all right, go ahead.
She is working on getting set up with TPC to get some more mental health services. I talked a lot with her about prioritizing her mental health, taking care of herself so that she can ultimately be there for Haley. So she's still a work in progress, but she is cooperative in working with the department.
And regarding the alcohol use, can you please provide the details of your concerns regarding mom's alcohol use?
So when we were getting these reports from family, they talked about mom and Tony going to the bar and drinking, and then also drinking at the home. We have screened mom for alcohol. She's only tested positive for alcohol in June. I addressed this with her. I told her that while her drug screens are negative, alcohol can be a concern as well, especially since it's been kind of looped into these issues with Mr. Delgado and her mental health. And so she's working on getting into daily recoveries to address that alcohol so that she can maintain sobriety. We did test her for alcohol again in July, and she was negative.
Now, you mentioned that the child is placed with the brother. This is by the agreement of mom and Mr. Wrinkle as well. Is that correct?
Mr. Wrinkle has not had a lot of communication with the department. He was made aware that Haley was going to be staying with her brother, and he did not have any objection to that.
Thank you, Andrea. In regards to Mr. Wrinkle, he was ordered to hair follicle and urinalysis drug screen at the last compliance hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he comply?
No, he did not.
And what visitation is he having with the child, if any?
None.
And is that because he is not drug screening?
Correct.
And was that from a prior court order as well?
Yes.
All right. Can you tell me about your efforts to engage Mr. Wrinkle in services?
I talked to him in May on the phone when all this stuff with Haley was going on and that we were going to place her with her brother. There's been a few text messages, and then I did send him a letter last month updating him on Haley, and then also telling him that his services are still available to him should he want to engage in those services.
Have you offered to connect him with those services in his plan?
Yes, we have.
Right. Are there any recommended services for either parent that we are asking the court to order?
Mom is following what we've asked her to do. We just want her to continue to screen, continue to focus on her mental health. I did ask her and Mr. Delgado to participate in couples counseling that was offered to them. They are going to take advantage of that. And so that's been set up for them. I would really like to see Mr. Wrinkle engage in counseling, drug testing. Haley misses him. She would like to have some sort of contact with him. And it's sad that she's sad that he, not more is being done to be able to have contact with her dad. I do want to say that even though Mr. Wrinkle has not had contact, he has provided financial support to Hayden and given money to him and Wendy when they've needed anything to get for Haley. So he has supported her in that aspect.
Do you believe that there's a continuing need for this order to continue to be in place?
I believe the family does need to continue to work services. Yes.
Do you believe that risk of abuse or neglect still exists for Haley?
At this time, yes.
And are you asking the court to extend this case another 6 months?
Yes.
All right. Do you have any other requests for the court today?
No, I will continue to try to work with Mr. Wrinkle. We will continue Haley's counseling. It's been very beneficial, and we will continue to work with Deanna on her mental health, and then hopefully help her and Mr. Delgado sort their stuff out too.
I pass the witness.
All right, thank you, Ms. Archer.
Yes, did you say that Deanna's been completely cooperative with the department?
She continues to be cooperative, yes, ma'am.
And you said she was negative on the alcohol screen in July?
Yes, ma'am.
Since mom is doing everything asked of her and has shown some progress, would you be, or would the department be okay with increased visitation?
She has unlimited, I mean, she can go see her whenever she wants. There's not a restriction on her time. It's just we're asking that Hayden and Wendy continue to supervise her. I think we could very well get to the point of unsupervised. We did let her go and take Haley to get her schedule on Friday for a few hours, but with just her recently restarting her counseling, still trying to get into TPC and not starting her outpatient yet, I would like to maybe keep visitation as it is now and then reevaluate things as she's making progress on some of those other things. But she and I are in constant contact talking about those things and the behaviors and the progress that we need to see. So I think she could very well get there, but we just kind of had a little delay in her getting started back with her counselor and those kinds of things. But she's headed in the right direction.
Okay, that's great. And you realize she's very much wanting unsupervised visits, right?
Yeah, she's talked to me about that, and I staffed that with my supervisor today. We would like to see some work with the outpatient program and give her some more counseling with the Lois, and then check in with those providers and make sure she's committed and making progress before we lift that. And then obviously we want things with Mr. Delgado to be addressed too before Haley would return to her care or anything like that.
Would one idea be to give her unsupervised and make sure Mr. Delgado's not around?
I think we could maybe look at that once she's, a little more stable in her services. That was the condition we made for her to take her to get her schedule, is that he couldn't be with her.
And did that go okay?
Yes, as far as I know, it went well.
Oh, I couldn't hear. I'm sorry.
I said, as far as I didn't get any reports of any issues or anything like that.
Can anyone else hear?
We can hear her now.
No, all my sound is off. I don't know what happened. I'll figure that out. But
Do you
that's
wanna-
all. Oh, I can hear all of a sudden.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, it came back. I think it's my internet connection was just unstable.
Okay.
Okay, I can pass the witness. I think we covered everything.
Okay, Mr. Hill, questions?
No, sir.
Was that a no, sir?
Correct. No questions.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Naranjo.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Lewis, has Miss Brinkle found employment yet?
Yes, she is working. Yes.
Where's she working at?
She's working for like a financial retirement company. She gets to work from home. She started that job at the beginning of July.
Have she started looking for housing that maybe doesn't have Mr. Delgado also residing there?
We have discussed that. She's open to the option. I think she's wanting to try to work on things with him, but also understands that if it comes to the good of Haley, I think she's willing to do what's necessary. I've given her some information on some income-based apartments and then some housing resources, but I think she is kind of waiting to see what her financial situation is going to be like. But she's not flat out refused to move out on her own. I think she's just trying to see what her options are.
And Ms. Wrinkle understands that under their temporary orders from their divorce, she's not allowed to have Haley overnights if Mr. Delgado is there.
Yes, we have discussed that as well. When we found out about that at the previous hearing, that was discussed.
Has either parent drug screened for the month of August?
No, not yet.
Okay. And can you get all those drug screens that you have for Ms. Wrinkle e-filed with the court?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness.
All right. Ms. Gutierrez, anything further from the department?
Yes, Your Honor. Andrea, are we asking the court to order mom's visitation to be supervised right now?
She's compliant with the safety plan. I don't know if we necessarily need it ordered. I feel like we could work on that with her and just make sure, checking in with providers and following along, make sure she's making the progress before we lift that. But she's been compliant with her visitation requirements.
Are we asking for any drug screens to be ordered today?
Sure. If they want to screen today, both of them.
Okay. And are we asking for both a UA and a hair follicle?
Sure.
Are we asking, in addition to that, an alcohol screen for Mrs. Wrinkle?
Yes, please.
I pass the witness again, Your Honor.
All right. Anyone else further questions? All right, then, Ms. Gutierrez, any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, Your Honor. The department rests. We ask that the drug screening and alcohol screening be ordered, as well as that an extension in the case be granted for another 6 months.
Okay. All right, then, Ms. Archer, did you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Judge. My client is just really wanting to move toward unsupervised quickly because she's doing everything the department has asked.
Yeah, I'm in line with the testimony I heard from Andrea. I'd be more inclined to consider that once she starts her treatment, whether it be with daily recovery or inpatient or whatever. But I'm certainly not going to rule it out in the near future. Mr. Hill, did you have any witnesses?
Mr. Wrinkle, is there anything that you wanted the court to know?
You're muted, Mr. Wrinkle.
Did he say Mr. or Miss?
Mr. Michael.
Yes.
Michael, is there anything that you wanted the court to know?
Oh, I'd like to know why I haven't been in communication with what's going on with my daughter. I wasn't told anything about it, that Haley was over there, other than that she was over there with Hayden. Everything I've asked, nobody's answered any questions for me.
Well, if you have some questions, you can ask Miss Lewis while we're here.
I've got it answered now,
okay,
from what they say. But I mean, do I not get a copy of the safety plan or any of that?
You should get copies of everything.
I asked Andrea for it. She wouldn't give it to me. She wouldn't email it. She said I'd have to talk to my lawyer. I've tried to contact Mr. Hill several times, email, phone, text. I get no response.
Well, I'll put you in a breakout room when we're through, and you can talk to him as long as you want to.
And what good is that going to do me now?
Your Honor, objection argumentative.
Yeah. I'm not here to answer your questions. I'm here to hear the testimony and rule.
Okay.
I can't answer your questions.
Okay. I can't. I've got to have all the facts about everything, just like y'all do, and I don't get them. I can't ask questions that I don't know any answers to.
Well, do you have a copy of? Do you know what they're asking you to do as far as services?
Oh, I get an email.
Well, okay, so you know what you know what you're supposed to be doing, correct?
Well, I was being a parent. I don't see the reason that I can't see my daughter.
Well, I've heard testimonies why you can't see your daughter. So
testimonies.
I'll put you. Listen, I'm not here. I'm not your therapist. I'm not your lawyer. I'll put you in a breakout room with your lawyer so you can discuss all the things you're trying to discuss with me, which I cannot discuss. All right. Anybody have anything else?
Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Naranjo, recommendations.
Your Honor, I do believe it's in the child's best interest that the parents continue work services, that the case be extended, that Mr. Wrinkle be ordered to provide that UA and hair follicle, and that Ms. Wrinkle be ordered to provide the same as including that UA and the alcohol.
Okay. All right, then. Ms. Gutierrez, you want another compliance hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. Let me see. We usually do them 2 to 3 months out. Since there's so much going on, I think maybe 2 months would be better.
Okay.
So that would put us in October then.
I've got some other dates for October 12th, so.
That's fine with us, Your Honor, if
Okay.
unless somebody has a conflict.
All right. Okay, then I will just order the parents continue working the services as were previously ordered. I will extend the case for the additional 6 months as requested. I will order both parents to both hair strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. today at Care Express, and Miss Wrinkle's testing also to include alcohol screening. All right. That will conclude this hearing. For any of you involved, I will be back at 1:30 to call a compliance hearing on another Randall County case on the Gonzalez children. Y'all hang on, Mr. Hill and Mr. Wrinkle. I'm going to set up a breakout room, and y'all just talk as long as you want, and then you can just drop off in case I'm in the middle of another hearing.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll open that breakout room now.
And Your Honor, the deadline for them to screen was that today? I'm just
Yes,
making
ma'am.
sure I got it right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You too. Have a good week, Natalie. All right, it's a little past 1:30. I will call Randall County case cause number 88192. This is a compliance hearing following an order to participate involving the Gonzalez children. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Ms. Naranjo is with us representing the children. Ms. Lucero is with us representing the mother, Mrs. Ramos, who is with us. And Mr. Barfield is with us representing the father, Mr. Gonzalez, who is with us. I have Rachel Baca in the waiting room. That's my only person.
That's my worker on this one, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. We're waiting for Mr. Barfield to connect to the audio. He's still trying to connect. Okay. It looks like he dropped off, so I'm guessing he's going to try to come right back in. Oh, there he is. He's with us now. Okay. All right. That's everyone. No one in the waiting room. Ms. Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department calls Rachel Baca as its witness.
Okay. Ms. Baca, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. We start by asking the court to take judicial notice of the court report filed on August 6, 2026.
All right. So noted, and I read that report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Baca, are you the family-based safety services worker assigned to the Ramos Gonzalez family?
Yes,
And that, for the court's record, that's Jasmine Ramos and Hubert Gonzalez, is that correct?
that's correct.
With the children Jaslyn, Apollo, Hendricks, and Jazila. And correct me if I did not say her name right.
Jazila.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Can we get some updates on how the children are doing?
They're doing really well. We got them some new shoes. We got a backpack, school supplies, all that. They're ready to start school tomorrow. So they're doing really well. They are also in counseling now. They report that they like their counselor, and they like going to counseling. So they're doing really well. The children are.
And is that all 4 children participating in counseling?
No, Hendricks and Jazila, they're not able to participate in counseling right now because they're nonverbal.
Okay, and so it's Jaslyn and Apollo, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome, thank you. Your court report indicated that Apollo was also in speech therapy, is that correct?
Yes.
Is he in any other sort of therapy?
No, none that I'm aware of.
Your court report also indicated that Hendricks has an autism diagnosis, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Is he receiving any sort of services or medical treatment regarding that at this time?
His doctor, Dr. Wright, is going to refer him for, she also has a child that is autistic, and so she's going to refer him to any kind of services that he may benefit from. And he is also going to have a full evaluation from the school this year.
Okay. So it sounds like that's being handled by the child's primary medical provider, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
As well as the school, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So at this time, at least, we're not asking for the court to order anything regarding that, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, thank you. Now, I understand that the parents had been struggling with some drug use at the beginning. Can you tell us what the department has implemented to help ensure that the children are safe and can continue being with the parents?
Yes. So at the last court hearing on June 22nd, the parents were ordered to do a hair follicle and a UA. They did follow those orders, and they were positive on those hair follicle tests, and so were the children. So because of that, we implemented a safety plan on July 2nd to have 24/7 supervision for the parents with the children.
And
they are also, sorry.
Please continue.
Okay. They're also, parents are also engaged in substance abuse classes with daily recovery. Mr. Gonzalez is in a men's group, and Mrs. Ramos is in a women's group.
Thank you, Ms. Baca. In addition to that, what steps is the department taking in regards to frequently drug testing the parent?
We've been drug testing the parents at least once every 5 to 7 days since the beginning of July. Let's see. Yes, since July 7th is when we started testing them, and we started testing them at least 5 to 7 days.
Is it fair to say all of those tests since the beginning of July have been negative on UAs for the parents in regards to the drug cocaine?
Yes.
Okay. However, are there continued concerns about any other substances?
They did test positive for marijuana on July 14th, and that was their last positive drug test.
And is alcohol a concern, if any?
Yes.
How so?
For Mr. Gonzalez. And he admits that alcohol is a concern, and he's doing his substance abuse classes, and he says that he chews gum and drinks coffee and eats candy and does other things to try to keep him from using alcohol.
So are both parents working to stay sober at this time?
Yes.
As far as monitored UAs, are you asking that if the court order any urinalysis drug screens today that they be monitored?
Yes.
Why is that?
We recently found out that Mr. Gonzalez had testified previously that he was using drug falsification. I'm not really.
And would that be a conviction and not testimony?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Are there any recommended services that we need to ask the court to order today?
I don't believe so. The family is engaged in all the services that have been court ordered. They're doing really well, and I feel that they're really trying.
How close is the family to the department feeling comfortable lifting that 24-hour supervision requirement?
I feel that they're very close. Depending on the tests that they are ordered to do today, on those results, then if we are able to determine that they're not using as they were before, then we are able to lift the safety plan.
And what type of drug screens are we asking for today?
A hair follicle, a UA, and an ETG for alcohol.
Are we asking for that ETG on both parents?
No, just Mr. Gonzalez.
Okay. When was their last hair follicle drug screen?
On June 22nd.
Would you agree that June 22nd is less than 90 days ago?
Yes.
Do you foresee any concerns that could arise because of the closeness in those two hair follicle drug screens?
Yes, I do believe that it will show a positive result for marijuana, but we are able to look at the levels to see if they've dropped since the last hair follicle.
Okay. All righty. And are we asking the court to order anything specific on when that 24-hour supervision should be lifted?
No, I mean, just pending drug test results that they do today.
Now, let's see here. The dismissal date is November 3rd of 2026. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are we asking the court to set another compliance hearing before that?
Yes.
All right. Do we have any other requests for the court?
No.
I pass the witness.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Lucero.
Thank you. Ms. Baca, has Ms. Ramos been cooperative since this case started?
Since I took over the case on July 6th, she has been.
Okay. And you stated that she is working the services that were set forth in her service plan?
Yes, she is.
Okay. And as far as specifically with Hendricks, I see in your report that she didn't feel maybe that, I guess, the doctor that he had before was addressing his issues, so she was able to locate Dr. Wright. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then the safety plan, she voluntarily signed that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then I know that it was signed on the 29th according to Odyssey, but when did the service plan, the safety plan actually begin?
July 2nd.
Okay. So they've been in it for what, like a month even a month and a half or so now, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I appreciate you stating that it's likely that the hair follicle will be positive since we're not 90 days out. Y'all are just looking for those numbers to be going down, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And so if the UA comes back negative and the hair follicle comes back, with the numbers down or, then once that's done, we all need a court order to go ahead and lift the safety plan, or y'all can just do that on y'all's own?
We'll be able to do it on our own.
Okay. And would that be done within a couple of days or just immediately, or how will that work?
As soon as we get the drug test results back and we're able to determine that they are no longer using, as far as the level dropping, then we can do it within a day.
Okay. All right, Ms. Baca, I appreciate you. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Barfield.
I believe Ms. Lucero asked the same questions I was going to ask, so I have no questions.
Okay. Ms. Madrano.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Baca, you testified earlier about Dr. Wright's referral for services on the autism. Does that mean that a medical autism evaluation was done for Hendricks?
I believe he's already been, before he saw Dr. Wright, I believe he was already diagnosed with autism.
So an evaluation was done, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you testified earlier that both parents have provided negative drug screens, at least as of July 14th. Is that correct?
Well, Mrs. Ramos tested positive on a urinalysis on July 29th. However, the level was at a 20, which is really low. And not even a week later, she tested negative.
Okay, so, but to correct it, Miss
Yes.
Ramos hasn't been negative since July 14th. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the issue continues to be a struggle with staying away from marijuana. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'll pass witness.
Okay. Anyone have further questions for Ms. Baca? All right, then, Ms. Gutierrez, anything further from the department?
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I was on mute. I just had one follow-up from
All right.
after Ms. Donaco. Ms. Baca, as far as the July 29th positive screen that was at that low level for Ms. Ramos, seeing your report and from speaking with her, is it your understanding that she purchased a vape pen and that was the reason that she explained to you that why it was a positive UA?
Yes.
And you stated further in your report that you did talk to her and just told her to be real careful with, I guess, purchasing vape products, things like that. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, thank you. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Anyone else?
No,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Anything
The
further from? Go ahead.
The department rests, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Lucero, any witnesses?
No witnesses. I would just ask the court to just order that if once the hair follicle test and the UA come back the way that we're hoping they will, that the safety plan be lifted.
Yeah. I don't have a problem if the levels are down on the hair and the UAs are negative, then I don't have a problem with lifting that. So, okay. Mr. Barfield, did you have any witnesses?
I did want to just ask my client a question.
Okay. Let me find him here. Mr. Gonzalez, if you'd unmute, please. If you're on a phone, hit *6.
And Your Honor, before he starts, can we let Sam Wildman in, please?
Oh, sure. I think we may have just lost him.
Okay. Well, it was going to be a simple question. The question was, I was just going to ask him if he understood what he needs to be doing, but if he doesn't, he can sure call me. So I'll just rest.
Okay. Then, Ms. Ronho, did you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Ronho, recommendations.
Your Honor, I do believe it's in the children's best interest that the parents continue to work services, and hopefully if this UA is negative, if it's observed, as well as the lower levels on the hair follicle, we can readdress that safety plan.
Okay. All right. Give me just a second here. All right. Mr. Gonzalez is back in the waiting room. All right, then. I will just order the parents continue to work the services that were previously ordered, which they're obviously doing. I'll order the parents to both hair strand and UA drug screen. I'm going to say by 4 p.m. today, but we're almost at 2 o'clock. And I assume Ms. Baca can get the 2054 over there. But
Yes.
if something were to happen and we can't, then I'll order that they do it no later than tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes,
Your Honor.
Hello?
I'm not through
Hey.
yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
And Mr. Gonzalez will also alcohol screen both parents' drug tests to be observed. I'll order if the parents' UAs are negative and their hair strands are lower than their previous hair strand test, then their visitation will no longer have to be supervised. Mr. Gonzalez, you had something to say?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute my phone so my lawyer could ask me a question, and I ended up, I guess, exiting out of it on accident.
Oh, well, I'll ask him. He just wanted to know if you understood what you were supposed to do. Mr. Barfield, do you want to go ahead and ask him?
I can, Judge, just real
Okay.
quick. Mr. Gonzalez, do you understand that if you continue doing what you're doing and your drug tests are negative or lower, that this case can be dismissed?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to ask, Judge. I'll rest and close.
Okay. All right. As far as another compliance hearing, I have October 12th. If that's too soon, Tracy and I can look for a date that's later in October. If that works for you, then I'll set it for October 12th.
I like October 12th, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I'll set the next compliance hearing for October 12th. For the parents, it will be by Zoom, just like this hearing was today. You can ask your lawyers a day or two before October 12th, or ask anybody with the department what time of day that hearing will take place. That way you're not just sitting around in the waiting room for no reason. So All right, we'll be in recess on this case. For any of you involved, I will be back at 2:15 to call another Randall County case. That's an adversary hearing involving the seller's child. So,
Judge,
we'll be,
if I can I get a breakout room with Mr. Barfield and Miss Naranjo to discuss those next two cases? Because I want to say Brooks is on both of them.
sure.
And
All
then
right, y'all have a good week. I'll
Thank
put
you,
you on
Judge.
a breakout room. Y'all have a good week.
Thank you, Judge.
You can go, Mr. Gonzalez.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to exit out. I have no clue how to work it. I'm sorry.
I'll get you out here in just a second, Mr. Gonzalez.
All right, thank you. I apologize. I'm trying to figure it
That's no
out.
problem. That's all right. I have trouble with it too. Looks like somebody already got him out. Okay, it is past 2:15. Afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon, Judge.
Afternoon, Judge.
Be sure everybody's with us. I will call cause number 88676L2. This is an adversary hearing involving the seller's child. Ms. Wildman's with us for the department. Ms. Naranjo is with us representing the child. Mr. Barfield is with us representing Ms. Sellers. She is not with us and not in the waiting room. Mr. Barfield, were you expecting her?
I was, and she has been duly notified, Your Honor.
Okay. The father, Hugo De Paz, is not with us, and he's not in the waiting room. Let me quickly run down everybody in the waiting room, and then we'll get started. Have Nerdy Angriani, Michaela Bella, Denise Lovato, Danielle Graham, Katie Larson, Terry Holstead, and Taylor Davis.
Okay, all of those are going to be my witnesses, Judge. What did you say? It was Terry Holstead?
Hang on. Yes.
Okay. So if Danielle is the investigator, if we can get her in, Katie is her supervisor, and then if we can get Nerdy in.
Okay.
And I would say let's go out of order then, Judge, with Miss Sellers not being here. We may be able to cut this back a little bit. And let's get the TDAT's witness out of the way. That would be that'd be Terry Holstead.
Okay. So she's your first witness?
Yes, Judge, I'll go ahead and call her.
Okay. Ms. Holstead, this is Judge Graham. If you'd unmute, please. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. If you'd raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wildman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. And Ms. Holstead, if you would, how are you currently employed?
I am the custodian of records for Texas Alcohol and Drug Testing Service.
And what does the Texas Alcohol and Drug Testing Service do just generally?
We are the third-party administrator for the state of Texas for drug and alcohol tests, any department or institution in the state of Texas under that contract. So DFPS, the prison system, those types of agencies.
Okay, and so is it a standard practice of your agency to keep the records of all of these drug tests as they relate to those different departments?
Yes.
And again, as custodian of record, do you have the ability to access all of those?
Yes.
And are these generally records that are made at the time that these testing results come through?
Yes.
Now, earlier, did you prepare a business records affidavit related or I guess, did your agency prepare a business records affidavit related to a donor by the name of Cynthia Sellers?
Yes.
And have you had the opportunity to review those results?
Yes.
And have you reviewed those records?
Yes.
Now, the department has sent over a file marked copy, or I guess an exhibit marked copy, marking this as Exhibit 3. But did these appear to be the regular business or records kept in the regular business of your agency?
Yes.
And while they are accompanied by an affidavit from Stephanie Cole, are you also able to testify to those as a additional custodian of record?
Yes.
And Judge, I would move to admit petitioner's Exhibit 3 at this time.
All right, objections?
No objection.
No objection.
Right. Petitioner's 3 is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. And then the department would just ask that you take judicial notice of the positive oral swab test that was positive for marijuana and methamphetamine, and the positive urinalysis screen that was positive for marijuana, and then the positive hair follicle test that was positive for marijuana and methamphetamine. All of those done in the last couple of days of July.
Okay, all right, so noted.
And then I will pass the witness.
All right. Mr. Barfield, any questions?
No questions for this witness.
Ms. Naranjo?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, then can she be excused?
Yes, please, Judge.
All right. Ms. Holstead, thank you for your testimony. I'll remove you so you can go about what's left of your day's business.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Judge, let's go ahead and call Danielle Graham. I may need to recall her, but I think we can probably get through most of what we need with her
Okay.
now.
Ms. Graham, if you'd unmute, please.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You'd raise your right hand. Swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
And we're not related, are we?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Ms. Wildman.
Thank you, Judge. And Ms. Graham, how are you currently employed?
I am an investigator with the Family and Protective Services.
And are you familiar with a child by the name?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did you first become familiar with Michael and his family?
I was assigned the case.
And how did the department, become aware of what was going on with Michael and his family?
The department received an allegation or a report saying that there were 3 call outs that Cynthia was crying. The first call out, Cynthia was seen crying in the middle of the street. The second call out, she was seen hitting Michael at Denny's, and then the third call out, she was seen shoving Michael to the ground.
Now, did the department end up responding to the scene of the last call out?
Yes, ma'am.
And at that time, what was your understanding as far as whether law enforcement was involved?
From my understanding, law enforcement was involved. They came out and they took her to jail.
And at that point, was she arrested for endangerment or injury to a child?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that based off of the allegations that had been reported?
Yes, ma'am.
And at that time, was the department shortly after that, was the department made aware of bond conditions that precluded contact between Michael and Cynthia?
Yes, ma'am.
And Judge, the department would move to admit Petitioner's Exhibit 1, which would be a certified copy of the bond conditions that were entered at that time.
All right. Objections?
No
objection.
Petitioner's 1's admitted.
And Ms. Graham, just in the interest of transparency, is it your understanding that the endangerment case has since been dropped?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, however, did the department become aware that there was a magistrate's order of emergency protection that had also been issued?
Yes, ma'am.
And Judge, the department would move to admit Petitioner's Exhibit 2, which is a certified copy of the magistrate's emergency order of protection.
Okay. Objections?
No objection.
Objection.
Petitioner's 2's admitted.
And Ms. Graham, from having reviewed that document, is it your understanding that while the bond conditions precluding all contact are gone, the magistrate's order still prohibits Miss Sellers from being within, I believe it's 200 yards of Michael physically and 200 yards of his residence?
Yes, ma'am.
And that order is good at least until mid-October, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And so at the time of removal, was the bond condition and the magistrate's order, were those concerns for the department?
Yes, ma'am.
What reasonable efforts were made at the time that this intake came in to avoid having to do a removal?
At the time of the removal, I met with Miss Sellers and I spent probably 2.5 hours with her trying to find different placement options for Michael. We had a family team meeting. We held a family team meeting and to see if there was any placement. We couldn't find any placement. We just couldn't find any possible placement.
Now, at the time that this had happened, or that the department was first involved, did Michael wasn't immediately removed, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened? He was staying with family friends, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what ended up happening as far as, that placement was concerned?
Upon further investigation, one of the supervisors looked into it and they just weren't appropriate. They had history with the department.
Michael has a grandfather too that had to be ruled out for similar reasons, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Michael has an older brother, but was he unable to care for Michael?
Yes, ma'am.
And so ultimately, did the department have to do an exigent removal?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that done because there was no other option to secure Michael's safety?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that his physical and emotional health and safety were in danger at that time and there was no other recourse?
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's talk a little bit about Mr. Hugo DePaz. What sort of involvement has he had with the department since this case opened?
None.
At one point, was there an understanding that maybe he was going to be moving back in with Miss Cynthia Sellers?
Yes, ma'am.
Would he have been an appropriate supervisor at that point if Miss Sellers still was not allowed to have contact with Michael?
I don't believe so.
Well, and I mean, if he was living with Miss Sellers and Miss Sellers could not have physical contact with Michael, Michael wouldn't be able to be placed with Mr.
No.
DePaz, correct?
No, ma'am.
Now, is it your understanding that those two are no longer living together and intending to live together?
Yes, ma'am. They're not together anymore.
When you talked with Mr. DePaz, did he ever give you an actual address where he lived?
No, ma'am.
Did he indicate that he did not want to be involved in the case due to issues with potential immigration consequences?
Yes, ma'am.
And has that changed to your knowledge?
No, ma'am.
Has he reached out to the department or tried to reach out to Michael since the removal?
No, ma'am.
And is he in any way an alternative to removal at this time?
No, ma'am.
Has his paternity been established for Michael?
No, ma'am.
In fact, has Miss Sellers indicated that he may not be the father of Michael?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that a concern for the department?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, genetic testing was ordered in this case, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it your understanding that at least as of right now, Mr. DePaz has not been able to be located to do that genetic testing?
Yes, ma'am.
Are there some concerns that he may have been deported?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, have you had the opportunity to review the drug screens that were previously admitted?
Yes, ma'am.
And does that cause the department concern as far as Miss Sellers being positive for methamphetamine?
Yes, ma'am.
Would those positive tests be consistent with some of the information that you have as far as the arrest and law enforcement involvement in these allegations?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, did you have a family team meeting with Miss Sellers and Mr. DePaz and Miss Sellers? I guess it was her criminal attorney at one point.
Mr. DePaz wasn't there, but it was Cynthia.
All right. And so how did that, I guess at that family team meeting, what sort of concerns arose?
At that family team meeting, we were just trying to find placement for Michael. At the end of the meeting, Cynthia's lawyer at the time, he came back in and he expressed to my supervisor at the time that Cynthia had relapsed.
Now, when you talked to Ms. Sellers, did she also disclose a history of mental health concerns?
Mental health, yes.
Did she say whether or not she was actively involved in, I guess, treatment or if she was actually taking her medication?
No, ma'am, not at that time.
All right. And so would that be another concern as far as her ability to care for Michael if she was not entirely on top of her mental health?
Yes, ma'am.
Would that also be consistent with some of the concerns that had arisen with the law enforcement involvement?
Yes.
Do you believe at this time that there's no other reasonable option as far as placement or reunifying Michael with Cynthia at this time?
I do.
Do you believe it would be contrary to his physical health and safety if he were to be returned to either Miss Sellers or Mr. DePaz at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you recommending that the department be named temporary managing conservator at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you aware of what kind of placement Michael's in now?
He's in a foster home.
And would you ask that placement continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that's in the child's best interest?
I do.
I will pass the witness, Judge.
All right, thank you. Ms. Graham, where's the foster home located, city or county?
It's in Lubbock.
Lubbock? Okay, thank you. Mr. Barfield?
Thank you, Judge. Ma'am, before today's hearing, within the past week or so, have you had any contact with Miss Sellers?
Yes.
And when was your last contact with Miss Sellers?
Right before the hearing.
Today?
Yes.
So she was aware of the hearing?
Yes.
Okay. And did she give any indication that she did not plan to attend the hearing?
She told me that she couldn't get the link to work.
Okay. All right. Does it concern you that she's not at this hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Mr. Ronho?
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Graham, for that hair follicle drug screen that Miss Sellers submitted to you on August 4th, can you get that e-filed with the court?
Yes.
And is there currently a pending home study on a Charles and Monica Weathersby for Michael?
I am not sure.
I'll pass
It would
it.
be St. Francis.
Okay. Anyone have further questions for Ms. Graham?
Just briefly, Miss Graham, have you had the opportunity to talk to Michael at all about what I guess is going on at home?
Yes, ma'am.
What has he told you about what he thinks and how he feels about his responsibility for all this?
He feels like it's his fault.
And does he feel like it's his fault? What does he feel like is his fault?
Everything. If he was a better son, then this wouldn't have happened.
Is that concerning to you that he feels that way?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it your understanding Michael has been in a psychiatric hospital since removal?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you believe that he is getting into counseling or getting started on that as soon as possible would be in his best interest?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the only other question I had, Judge.
Okay. Anyone else?
No,
Okay.
Your
All right. No further questions then. Does Ms. Graham need to stay around?
I think she should, Judge.
Okay. All right.
And then I would briefly call Nerdy and Granny, Judge.
Okay. Ma'am, if you raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Wildman.
Thank you, Judge. Miss Angrani, have you had the opportunity to talk at all to Miss Sellers since becoming involved in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And from your conversations with Miss Sellers, has she taken any responsibility for the positive drug screens?
No, ma'am.
Has she given you any kind of story as to what may have caused those?
She said that she did not understand why she's positive with meth.
Okay. Has she, when talking with her, has she given you any kind of indication about how she cares for Michael when he is in her custody?
No, ma'am.
Does she work?
No.
Has she shown you any financial stability or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Has she indicated that she intends to cooperate with the department?
Yes.
Okay. And if she does, are you planning on meeting with her to go and preparing a family plan of service and everything?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, Michael has everything that was testified to during Ms. Graham's testimony as far as Michael's placement. Is that accurate?
Yes.
How's he doing since he's moved over to the foster home?
He's feeling safe, but also he's wanting to return to mom.
Okay.
He's missing his mother. That's what he said.
Now, after the bond conditions were figured out, were we able to set up virtual visitation?
Yes.
And so have they had their first virtual visit?
Yes, correct.
And Miss Naranjo had asked Miss Graham, but is there currently a kinship home study pending?
Yes.
And who is that with?
It's with a cousin named Charles Weathersby and his wife Monica Weathersby.
And so far, have they passed the preliminary background checks?
Yes.
All right. And so it's just a matter of going through that formal home study, correct?
Yes.
And they're willing to have Michael there?
Yes.
And they are located in Canyon, correct?
Yes.
So that'd be much closer for when we can start in-person visitation, correct?
Correct.
Perfect. Are there any other updates the court needs at this time as far as Michael's concerned?
Not at this time, no.
Are you aware yet at this point, is he on any psychotropics? Was he discharged from the hospital with any psychotropic medications?
Yes, he's been taking the medicine for the ADHD medicine, but that was not a new medicine. That was prescribed.
And is his current placement on top of that, making sure that they are aware of that those are going to need to be updated and followed up on in a regular schedule?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. And is Michael registered for school at this time? Will he be starting school soon?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what grade he's going into?
He's going to fifth grade. Yeah, fifth grade.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, Mr. Barfield.
Thank you, ma'am. You'd indicated that Ms. Sellers had told you she wanted to work services or help mitigate the reason for removal. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When did she indicate that to you?
In my home visit on August 5th.
Okay, so fairly recently.
Yes.
Is that the last time you had contact with Ms. Sellers?
No, I had contact after the 5th. After August 5th by phone.
Okay. And did you indicate to her that there was going to be an adversary hearing?
Yes.
Okay. And so she was aware of today's hearing.
Yes, sir. In fact, when we were talking, she was trying to message me that she couldn't get online on the phone. So I was trying to share the link again, and she couldn't log in to the link.
Okay. But it's the same link that we all had that we
Yes.
get to click one button and we're here.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Madrano.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Angrani, is that home study on Mr. and Mrs. Weathersby, is it expedited?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness.
Okay. Anyone else have further questions for her? All right, then.
Judge, if I can, we may be able to avoid another witness. Miss Angrani, that first visit that happened between Michael and Cynthia, were there some concerns that were relayed to you?
Yes.
Was it your understanding that Miss Sellers was driving during that meeting and not particularly engaged at times?
Yes, correct, ma'am.
Were there some concerns about her inability to focus on individual topics?
Yes.
Do you think it would be in Michael's best interest? And I don't know that it needs to be part of a court order, but it would be in Michael's best interest that she be instructed to not be driving and not have other individuals around when she's having those visits.
Yes, ma'am, correct.
Do you think that would be less of a distraction for both her and for Michael?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Anything else from the department?
Judge, I think as far as our purposes, I don't think we need to call the other witnesses. I think we would just ask that the department be named TMC, all of the statutory findings be made, and that placement continue at this point. If we want to officially order that home study expedited, I don't think anybody has any problem with that.
Okay. All right, then. If the department rests, Mr. Barfield, did you have any witnesses?
I do not have any witnesses, Your Honor, at this particular time. No.
Okay. Ms. Naranjo, witnesses?
No, Your Honor, no witnesses.
All right, then, Ms. Naranjo, recommendations.
Your Honor, I do believe it's in the child's best interest that the department be named temporary managing conservator, that his placement continue, that an expedited home study be ordered on the Weathersbys, as well as the virtual visitation, that mom not have anyone else present during her visits, and hopefully not be driving so she can focus on Michael during these visits.
Okay. All right. Would somebody give me the name of the home studies on the
Charles
cousins?
and Monica Weathersby.
Okay.
It's a BEE last name. Weathersby.
Okay.
BEE.
Okay. All right. All right. Then I will continue the department's temporary managing conservator. I'll continue Michael's current placement. I'll order that Miss Sellers' virtual visitation be attended only by her, and obviously not be driving. And I will order that the home study that's currently underway for Charles and Monica Weatherby be expedited. I will set the status hearing in this case for September 14th. That will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing, so everybody can go on the Courts Online docket a day or two before to see what time of day we'll have that hearing. Okay, we will be in recess on this case. For any of you involved, I'll be back at 3:15 to call another Randall County case. That's a status hearing involving the Davis child. So we will be in recess. Everybody have a good week.
Thank you,
Judge, just for your information, if you wanted to take a look, we have filed the affidavit of voluntary relinquishment in that Davis case. If you wanted to take a look at that before the hearing, we were able to get that signed and filed.
All right, then. All right. We'll see some of you back here at 3:15.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you all.
And Judge, if we could dismiss my other witnesses, I apologize if anybody's still on.
I'm here. All right. I've got Taylor Davis, Denise Lovato, and somebody on a phone line.
That might be, I don't know about the phone line, Judge. Michaela Bella, I think, was on Zoom earlier, so I don't know. Those are the three that I would need released.
All right, let me just bring in all three and I'll tell the other two and we'll find out who's on the phone. All right, this is Judge Graham. I have let in, looks like Officer Davis and Denise Lovato. We have finished the hearing. Your testimony wasn't needed. We appreciate you showing up. Officer Davis, appreciate your service, and both Mrs. Lovato and Mr. Davis are free to go.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for appearing.
Hello.
Thank
and
you.
now, I've also let somebody in on a phone line ending in 604. Can you tell me who you are, please?
My name is Cynthia Sellers. I'm the mother, and I've been trying to sign on.
Okay. Well, Ms. Sellers, we have finished your hearing. You can just call your attorney, and he can tell you what happened.
Oh, man. Okay. And I do want to let you know that I've been trying to get on since like 2 o'clock. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, well, that's not unusual. You're not the first one that's happened to. So, okay, yeah, you can
Okay,
call
that's
Mr.
not gonna
Barfield.
try to get to me.
You can call Mr. Barfield, and he'll let you know what happened.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, good. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, it's 3:15. I will call Randall County case cause number 88558. This is a status hearing involving the Davis child. Ms. Wildman's with us for the department. Mr. Ronho's with us representing the child. Mr. Barfield is with us representing the mother, Neely Smith. She is not with us. Oh, no, she is. She just got in the waiting room. Get her in.
And Judge, if you see Shay Carnes, can she be brought in as well?
Okay, nobody's in my waiting room right now. We can wait. We can wait a few minutes, see if she shows up.
Let me make sure she has the right link, because she said she was in the waiting room, so maybe she doesn't. Give me a moment.
Okay. Okay, she's coming in now.
Perfect.
Okay, everyone's in. No one's in the waiting room. Miss Wildman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. The department will call Shay Carnes.
Okay, Ms. Cairns, you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Miss Wildman, you can go.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Cairns, how are you currently employed?
With St. Francis Ministries.
What do you do for them?
I am a case permanency specialist.
And are you assigned to the case and her mother, Neely Smith?
I am.
All right. And for the court's information today, were you provided with a voluntary affidavit of relinquishment signed by Ms. Smith?
Yes, I was.
And have you signed that on behalf of the department? Yeah. And we have filed that into this case, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And so prior to that, had you worked up had you met with Ms. Smith and worked up a family plan of service?
Yes, I did.
Now, the family plan of service is not in the court report, but I have it pulled up here now. Can you go over just some of the services that were recommended in that family plan of service?
It would have been parenting, OSAR, drug screening, counseling, RBT, psychosocial, and a substance abuse program, along with employment and a residence.
And are all of those services kind of narrowly tailored to what got us involved in this case?
Yes.
Has substance abuse and stability been a consistent issue?
Yes.
And would those be things that needed to be addressed for the department to successfully reunify?
Yes.
Now, even understanding that Ms. Smith has signed that voluntary affidavit of relinquishment, is St. Francis still obligated to make efforts towards reunification?
Yes.
And do you believe that the family plan of service would be a reasonable effort to do so?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, is Ms. Smith having any kind of visitation with Bailey?
No, she's not.
And correct me if I'm wrong, did the last court order require some kind of negative hair or drug screen before that could begin?
Yes.
And has any kind of drug testing been done yet?
No.
Has the department tried to maintain contact with Ms. Smith and offer those services so if she was interested in visitation, she could do that?
Yes, we have.
Do you believe that those are reasonable efforts to try to reunify Bailey with Miss Smith?
I do.
And to be clear, has Miss Smith been pretty adamant that she is not interested in reunification?
Yes, she has.
She's wanting Bailey to stay with the Davis family. That was why she gave Bailey their last name, and that's what she's wanting to see happen, correct?
Yes.
And ultimately, is the department supportive of that?
Yes.
Now, are you still asking that the court order that family plan of service today and make that an order of the court?
Yes.
Do you believe that that would help us go forward as far as reunification or making reasonable efforts if Miss Smith were to change her mind?
Yeah.
And as far as Bailey is concerned, how is she doing in placement?
She's doing great. She's meeting all of her milestones. She's very bonded.
Is placement keeping up to date with all of the medical appointments and everything as required?
Yes, they are.
And do you have any other concerns or any sort of updates for any kind of services Bailey may need?
Not at this time.
Is she going to be following up with ECI at some point, or has she done that already?
I believe they had an appointment scheduled.
Okay.
They had a loss last week, so I wasn't able to go see her.
Do they, I guess let me ask, is Bailey on any kind of medication or anything like that?
Not at this time.
Have there been any follow-ups or concerns as far as withdrawal or any kind of exposure at birth?
No concerns. She's doing great.
Perfect. Would you recommend that placement continue?
Yes.
Do you believe at this point there's a continuing danger to Bailey returning to Miss Smith?
Yes.
And do you believe that that would be based off the reasons for removal and her disinterest in participating in services at this point?
Yes.
And do you believe that the lack of drug screening also causes that continuing danger?
Yes.
Would you recommend the department remain temporary managing conservator at this time?
Yes.
Are you asking the court to appoint an attorney for the unknown father today and set an early final in this hearing, in this case, about 60 days out?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that would be in Bailey's best interest?
I do.
And do you believe that would be consistent with Miss Smith's wishes as she's relayed them to you in the department?
Yes.
Would that then allow the department to move forward with permanency for Bailey with the current placement?
It would.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Ms. Rodman, are you asking that I enter an interlocutory termination order on Ms. Smith today or not?
No, Judge, I think we would just like to handle it all at once in one final hearing and also terminate the unknown father at that time.
Okay. All right. Mr. Barfield, questions?
Not of this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Naranjo.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Anything further from the department?
Yeah, let me ask just one more thing. Ms. Kearns, have you gotten any updated information about any kind of possible father, or is the father still unknown at this time?
It's still unknown.
That'd be the only other question I had, Judge.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have other witnesses? Okay, then. Ms. Naranjo, recommendations.
Your Honor, I do believe it's in the child's best interest to continue the department as temporary managing conservator and to continue the child's current placement.
All right. All right. I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator, continue the current placement. I'll order the services for Ms. Smith and any unknown father. I've got a date for October 12th, which is not quite 60 days, but it's past the 45 days notice of the final hearing. Does that work is that all right with everybody?
Yes, Judge, and I don't think this will take too long.
Okay. Okay. Then
Judge,
I will set a final in this case for October 12th, 2026. It will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing. So everyone can go on the court's online docket a day or two before October 12th to see what time of day that hearing will take place. All right. Anything further on this case?
Judge, the department would ask that whatever restrictions are in place as far as visitation from the adversary hearing continue to hold over.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. All righty. Okay. Well, that will conclude this hearing. For those of you involved, I'll be back at 3:45 to call our final hearing today. That's a Randall County adversary hearing involving the Rawson children. So we'll be in recess till 3:45. See some of you back. And if not, y'all have a good week.
Thank you, Judge.